I rotate device back. Okay, that might be a problem. I don't know how I'm going to rotate this thing back. Let's see here. Anyway, I think I'm live. Am I live? Yeah, I am. All right. I may have to do this, you guys, because I don't know how to get this thing back to orientation. I have not gone live for like 6 months, so I just see if I can do this. Well, hey, Hawk. How you doing tonight? I'm not sure how to rotate this thing back to where it was, and anyway, I don't want to disconnect it, so let me see. Let me see how bad it looks if I do this. Anyway, let's see here. All right. I got to at least pull at the comments. So anyway, I might have well, hey, Grace, greetings, salutations to you. Well, there is Kiss My Grits. Good evening to Kiss My Grits. All right, I got to pull up the... You guys, normally I can rotate this thing sideways and it's not doing it. Curious listener? All right. I like that. Hello, glad I'm able to join you. I'm glad you're able to join too. Grace is saying hi to Crits. They're grits. All right. Anyway, sorry, I don't know how to get this thing back to sideways. So anyway, I don't know how long we're going to be on here, but I just got to say something, guys. This is crazy. I'll just do that. Heck with that. So my two friends are in here. My real life friends. So Grace is going to be a moderator. And Kiss My Grits is my real life friend. So she's going to be a moderator too. And anyway, because we have rules here, just don't be bullying. Don't be nasty to people. No racist stuff, you know, the usual. So anyway, let's say hi to everybody. You guys, you know what? You saw me yesterday? Oh, yeah, you did. I was going to say, who's it? Yes, Kiss My Grits was over at my house yesterday. She came over and she brought me some beef from the butcher. And she dropped off a car for me to borrow so I can get my exhaust fixed on one of my trucks. So, yeah, she was just over at my house yesterday, Kiss My Grits. And so, yep, if you're nasty and you're being mean and stuff, you'll get actually not even blocked. You're going to be timed out for 24 hours if somebody wants to be nasty and stuff like that. So, you guys, you know what? Okay, it's just going to be sideways like this for, okay, we're just going to have to get past it because I didn't even want to do the live yet. I was trying to figure out how to turn it. And then it just went live. So, son of a gun. Anyway, so, yeah, so those are my friends in the chat. They're very seasoned moderators. They know, they've been around a long time. And so anyway, let's see. Yes. And Grace has been on my channel since about 2016. So she's also a good friend. Grace, didn't you get a wrench? What the heck? Grace says, welcome, all curious. You guys, speaking of curious, I'm really curious, you guys. I think the Whittakers took their channel down. I can't find it. I think that, I know this is amateur hour here, okay? So we got to get over it. For those who are not commenting, I can hear your thoughts. And you're saying, Jesus, got it sideways and And then I got, listen, a couple hours ago, somebody texted me and they said I was being made fun of for using my paintbrush holder, my paintbrush handle as a pointer. And if you expect me on my own money to go buy a professional pointer, I don't know what to tell you. All right, because I've been on this platform for 10 years. I've done 2,500 live streams, and I've never taken a penny from anyone ever. I have paid for everything on my own. This has cost me thousands of dollars to do this for 10 years on my own dime. Everything was out of my pocket. And I did not get reimbursed, by the way. So, anyway, so if I'm, what did I tell you from the get-go? This is a low budget production, low tech, low budget production. I literally cut and paste with the scissors and glue. Okay. And I'm old, for crying out loud. I don't know how to do this stuff. So anyway, I looked, you guys, I cannot find, am I missing it? Because I think that, I think Eric took the channel down, you guys. I can't find the channel. Am I missing something? Am I missing it? Oh, there it is. Okay, good. Wow, look at how far down they were from not posting, I imagine. Okay, good, because I want to pull up some of these, and I'm not going to play them today. But Eric, your channel is being dropped to the bottom. Look at all them people in front of them. Anyway, so let's go back. I'm going to look in the chat because I can't see on my phone. It's too little. So I want to go over and say hi to people. Grace, how come you don't have a, oh, you do. All right. So let's say hi to everybody. Welcome to all. Yes. Hey, everyone. Clyde, say it out loud. Here from Kansas. Oh, I like Kansas. Mr. Quazzle says hi. Nightmare Forever says sub. Saw you yesterday. Yes, you did. Hi, everyone. Hi to you, Mrs. Robinson. Sub, hello, all. Everyone says hi, everyone. Yeah, so we're going to go live, and I'm going to take some comments and see what you guys have to say. If you're ready to maybe ask some questions or make some comments or something. You guys are making awesome comments. Now, there's sometimes, I'm going to tell you, I don't know if it's zero tolerance or low tolerance, but a very low tolerance of people who just say bull crap and we just want to, pick fights and stuff. Low tolerance. Okay. I'm so over that. I got thick skin. I've been on here. Like I said, almost 10 years. So, if somebody comes on here and wants to talk nasty and just be mean and want to pick a fight, people want to argue, oh, you're stupid. They want to argue how stupid I am. And I'm going to tell you, that's not up for debate. Not on my end. So I don't waste my time or energy. I think they're both very important, my time and my energy. Like, I'm going to give you an example. Like, a few weeks ago, somebody made a comment, and I just delete this kind of bullshit, okay? Because why should I get riled up and upset and take my time, take my energy, which I value very much, both. I have a lot to do every single day. And I'm proud to say that I just finished up all my canning and all that stuff. So I'm done for the season. Harvest is finished. Everything's done, put away. I've got my last 5 gallons of spaghetti on the stove. Everything's done. But my energy has been very taken up by harvest time. Okay, I worked all summer to get a good harvest, and it's so abundant that I actually had to order a freezer because I've got so much stuff. So anyway, I'm not going to waste my time or energy on people just saying bullcrap. Right? I'm looking for people who want to put our heads together and talk like reasonable adults. Airborne Vitamin says, can you do it to live chat as well? I'm not sure. And sometimes I miss people's comments. Hey, Charles Lawson, are you the Charles Lawson, the preacher, Charles Lawson in Tennessee? Says, please. Okay, please. All right, got good manners. FFDD. Oh, you know who left me a comment? JJJ. Remember that account? The one that was leaving all them comments on the news articles that BJ snitching and all that stuff. That person left me some comments, not very nice ones. Oh, you know who else left me a comment I thought was really interesting was Ernie Evans. Remember him? The one that came in, to help Patrick, and then he left pretty quickly after that. Well, he said, he made a comment. He said, I guess I was just a flash in the pan or something. And he thanked me for the work. And you know what's funny? I almost put out a video about him because when he first came, he was like downplaying Patrick's criminal record, saying he was just a seatbelt violation or something. And but after a couple of times, I kind of felt sorry for him. And every time I saw him, I felt more sorry for him because he was being attacked. He had no idea what he was getting into. And he seems like a nice guy, you know what I mean? But yeah, he was like a goldfish in a shark tank, you know what I mean? And so I felt sorry for him. I didn't have the heart to even say anything about him. But anyway, so that was nice of him to say something. But yeah, I didn't. And what else I got? Oh, I got to do it before I start. Yeah, I tried and it accidentally went live. I can do it live chat. Yeah. Oh, I should do the live chat. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, it was kind of funny to see Ernie Evans. Like I said, I just felt bad for the guy. He had no idea. He seems like a nice guy, and he's like a promoter, bluegrass promoter, and they play music, and he's used to happy times. And boy, anyway, so shout out to Ernie Evans. I hope everything's going well with him and his family. Ma'am, switch to live chat and scroll to the bottom so it's current. All right, thank you. I'm with you there. Yeah. Hey, Hillbilly. What's this live about? We're going to talk about the Whittakers and just any developments and any questions or comments or concerns you have about the videos that I've done lately. If anybody wants to make a comment or suggestion, if you have any questions about the videos I've been putting out, anything like that, I will be putting more videos out. And now, today, I officially finished everything, my harvest and my canning and all my stuff. So I will have time now. I was doing videos. I've been doing my videos like from midnight till 4 o'clock in the morning when I'm falling asleep. Literally, because I work all day. And then when I'm done, every night I cook my dogs a chicken dinner with sweet potatoes every night. And I have to cook their dinner, and then I cook my dinner, and then I feed my indoor cats, and I got to go out and feed the stray cats. And by the time I do all the dishes and get done with everything, it is 10 o'clock on a good day. So I don't sit down at the computer till 10 o'clock at night. And I will go to 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning on these videos, and I'm falling asleep. And sometimes I have just been nodding out, and I just had to quit and start over the next day. So people say, sounds like you're drunk. Well, I'm going to tell you what. I've been out here 10 years, and anybody that knows me knows that I do not drink. I've been my whole adult life without drinking. I think I had some Passover wine, I don't know, 5 years ago, one sip of some kosher wine. I had a blasting headache, and that was about my alcohol for the last 20 years. So no, I don't drink. In fact, I really don't like alcohol, and I don't like being around people who drink. And my two friends here, Kiss My Grits and Grace, neither one of them drink either. So I think that's why we get along. So no, I don't drink, and I don't do pills either. And if anybody that knows me, I have a very healthy lifestyle. I try to grow as much food as I can. I try to grow my own food. I don't have any caffeine, no nicotine, no alcohol. I drink out of my own well water. I'm very conscious of my health. So no, if I'm like really like sound like I'm falling asleep, it's because I am. I'm tired. It's called being tired and working 18 hours. So anyway, so yeah, enough with the dumb comments. No, I'm very natural. Everything. I won't even take an Advil. Won't. Nope. Nope. So anyway, very super health conscious. Don't do pills. Don't drink. So yeah, enough of that. Could you help me? I've been writing 1 to 100. I'll try. Hi from West Virginia. Really? You're from West Virginia, huh? It looks beautiful there. Are you by the Whittakers? Cal said hi. Cass Cross says hi. Let's see. I'm with you there. The live is going to be about Whittakers. Oh, and then you know what somebody said one time was really dumb? What's going on in your videos? Why do I keep hearing a lighter clicking? Well, here, let me get you straight there. It's not a lighter clicking. I used to have a setting called tap and click or something. So you were aware it clicks when you hit the screen. So you know you're hitting, because more than once I've gone, you think pocket dialing's bad? Try to go live in your pocket and pull your phone out and figure out you've been live for 10 minutes. So just so I wouldn't go live, I put that tap and click. So it was actually a setting, which I've taken off because, yeah, it was a little annoying. But no, it's not a lighter. Oh, and then in the same comment, they said, why do you keep clicking a lighter? Which I didn't. And then at 11 minutes and 23 seconds, who came through the door? Like, first of all, a big middle finger. It's none of your business if somebody comes through my door. But just to show you how dumb this is, and this is why I don't even bother with these questions. Okay, because you know how long this takes to explain? Why should I have to explain anything? None of your business if somebody ever does come through my door. But I'll tell you what, I'm 100 miles away from the cities where I used to live. Okay, nobody's coming through my door, especially at night. Second of all, anybody gets near my door, my dogs go berserk. They will rip the curtains off the door. I've had to put magnet curtains on. They will go crazy even 5 minutes after somebody's been here. In fact, ask Kiss My Grits. They will go crazy. And I have sleigh bells on my door. And so you will hear the sleigh bells and you'll hear my dogs go crazy if somebody opens my door. Because the dogs hit the bells to go out. If they want to go out, they go over and hit the bell. And that's how they go in and out. So you'll hear all kinds of commotion if my door opens. So see why I don't even bother answering this bullcrap questions? You'll just get blocked, that's all. And I will laugh and I will laugh. Hillbilly says, I like your work. Thank you, Hillbilly. Let's see. Airborne Vitamins. Loved Ernie Evans. He was the best character. Yeah, he was. He was the most harmless, that's for sure. Ernie watches everyone's life, does he? Yeah. Shout out to Ernie. And shout out to Ernie for getting back out so quick. He caught on fast and he was in a Shark Tank and he wanted nothing to do with it. So anyway, major respect and appreciation for all your amazing work. Thank you, Tenacity for Truth. I like that. Hey, there's Up Yours. Good to see you. I hope all's well with you too. Up Yours is from another country, and guess what, Up Yours? They don't have these classic cars like we do here, and so he asked me to videotape the classic car shows that I go to. So I just videotaped another one just for you, Up Yours. So I'll be posting my classic car video, my annual one that I just went to, and that will be for you, Up Yours. A lot of cool cars again this year. I'm gonna put that up just for you. Kelly G says, I love your channel. You're a great investigator. Thank you, Kelly. I'm here because crazy neighbor gets a little buck wild sometimes. Yes, I do. Kathy's very detail oriented. She will not post anything without doing her own research first. Yes. Say it out loud says, wow. Yep. I thought it was a lighter too. Not that I cared it was. No, it's called tap and click. So every time you tap the screen, it will go just like this. Like that. And it was kind of annoying to me too, because every time I put it on pause, and you can see when I'm doing these videos, when I do these videos, you guys, I'm watching the video and there's a commercial like every 5 minutes. So the commercial comes on, I got to pause it. And then when I go to another screen, I got to pause it and turn it off, turn it on. So you keep hitting it like that. You're the only one figuring it all out and pointing out the scam. I hope they go to jail, Eric and the rest of them. Me too. Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, it's not a lighter. I wouldn't be doing a lighter while I'm doing a video. You know what I mean? Yeah, who cares if you had a lighter or not? Stick to right. And I think this is just, sometimes I wonder if it's like Eric or Patrick just messing with me. You ain't getting those dogs or, yeah. Yes, I have guard dogs and I have cameras. You're not getting by them. Kiss My Grits has been to my house, well, she just was here yesterday. And she knows I've got cameras you will be seen coming a mile away because I live out in the middle of nowhere. And yes, I have dark guard dogs and I have cameras that will see you coming long before you know I do. Yep. Yeah, I just saw you. Yeah, up yours is here. If I'm there, your odds of getting a free ride to Jesus go up exponentially. Yeah. Even her, she comes over here all the time and she still has to get, I still have to stop them from attacking anybody. So Ernie appeared right after the separation. We were on fire. Sorry, Ernie. It was bad time. Yeah, it was. And I didn't like Ernie at first just because he was on Patrick. So I didn't know where he came from. But I think Ernie's got a good heart. And I think he likes to play music and he's a promoter and he didn't know what he was getting into. Again, shout out to Ernie. Shout out that Ernie got out so fast and recognized what he's up against. Yes, welcome to everybody. This is crazy. Many thanks, Kathy. I loved your last character. Yeah, that was last year. I just went again. Actually, I went with my friend up here. So me and Kiss My Grits went. So I'll be posting that. Yeah, so I got another car show. Up yours, the car show had some pretty cool cars this year. Yeah, she went with me. Her and her hubby went with me. We live in the country and the holes in the woods are natural. Yeah. Those pre-dug holes, yeah, don't worry about those. Eric and Patrick don't miss anything. Yeah. Don't get many American classic shows in the UK. Yeah, he's from the UK and they don't really have that many cars like this. Ian P, no handcuffs are coming, and I hate, but being a professional panhandler can come with consequences. That's right. I hope he doesn't miss jail. I bet not you. Yeah. I can understand why. Yeah. So my goal is to keep putting out videos for showing how the Whittakers were forced into doing these restraining orders. And you know, like I said, I don't know how did Eric get how did they get the eviction notice? Like, how did he never even explained how he talked Betty into the eviction notice for BJ. Like, what the heck? And you know what? And I'm just gonna say something. You know, I love Azar, the tap 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 of the said paintbrush. Thank you. Mind your business, paintbrush. Yeah, that's what it was. It's like every time I tapped the screen, it made a click, which I like because, like I said, you know, over the years, I have pulled my phone out of my pocket and I've been live for like 5 minutes. I'm like, oh my God, what did I say or do? Betty told Eric in the world in a video that BJ abused them for years. What about that? Which video is that? She said BJ abused them for years. Yeah, I'd like to see that. Because all I've heard is one story, and it's about somebody threw a shoe. BJ threw a shoe. I've only heard the shoe story. Now, the way Eric told it, and I have this on clip, and I am expecting, and I'm surprised that the Whittaker channel is still up because it's so much incriminating evidence. But I have the video where he's sitting out, where they just overnight decided that BJ was a big threat and everything. And he described Timmy getting hit with the shoe. He pretended he had a shoe in his hand and he was acting out, and like he was hit, like BJ was hitting him on over and over on the top of the head. You know, then that's not what happened. She threw it at him. You know, whatever. But that's the only story I've ever heard. And she dug deep to get that one. And they don't even know when it was. Can't even say. And here's the thing. I do want to say, like for all the people, if anybody just saw my video on Mark Laeta, he was last June 2024, he was over at the Whittakers visiting. And I just put up that video how it was 20 years last year that he's been visiting the Whittakers. And hold on a second. The Whittakers. Yeah, here's, let me go through these comments real quick. But no, I don't believe it. But if you noticed, I don't believe BJ has been beating anybody over there. Like I said, we've heard one story and everything's been coming out of Eric's mouth. So you have to believe Eric is telling the truth. And if you watch that video of soft white underbelly, when Mark comes up on the porch in 2024, everybody's so happy to see him. It's been 20 years he's been going there. And when he comes up on the porch, right away, Larry apologizes for the thing with the money, what happened with the money. And then BJ apologizes too. And Mark shakes Larry's hand and tells him it's okay. And he pats BJ on the back and says, it's okay. I'm a very forgiving person. Now, I know people they are one track mind and they keep saying, well, what about BJ stole the $100,000? Well, first off the bat, she didn't steal it. Okay. If you listen to Mark and everybody, all the evidence, Mark said it was their money. The GoFundMe was their money. So every time they asked for their money, he handed it to them. And that's not stealing. It might not be using the money in the right way and all that stuff, but it is their money and they misspent it. Okay. So if Mark can forgive BJ and the Whittakers, how come nobody else can? Because Mark is the one who gathered up that GoFundMe money. And Mark was the one who took all the crap for it. And Mark was the one that got attacked by that Tony dude or whatever. He went over there and tried to stir up crap and make it look like Mark stole all the money. So Mark had to go through that. Mark had to go through this and this and this and that. The whole world was against Mark till he had to do a video trying to explain it and showing the GoFundMe where every penny went. He had to defend himself and he went through a living hell. He got slandered, he got accused and all this other stuff. And if Mark Laeta can step up on that porch and shake their hand and say, you know what? I'm a forgiving person and I forgive you. And they have forgiven each other. Then how come all the other people can't forgive the Whittakers or BJ or anybody? And by the way, they did get a few things out of that 100,000, got a vehicle and I don't know, some other stuff. But if they can forgive each other and Mark can forgive them, and they are the ones who went through all the hell, right? Mark is the one who went through the hell. He's the one probably who got it the worst. And if he can forgive, how come everybody else who's not involved can't? And somebody will say, yeah, but it was $100,000. Okay. Would you forgive her if it was only $100? Anybody forgive her for $100? How about 500? What is your level of, what is the amount? What is the amount that you can say, nope, I can't forgive? Is it the 100,000 or would you forgive if it was 100? You know what I mean? And think of this. Who is it that ended up without the house? Was it you? Was it me? No, I still have my house. It was them. They hurt themselves. Okay. They're the ones who didn't get the new house. Okay. So if they can forgive each other and Mark and they all can forgive each other, then why can't these outsiders who probably didn't give up a penny anyway? You know what I mean? So I don't know. And I just got to say, if people want to walk around and with unforgiveness in your house for years, I feel sorry for you, because I have learned at my age that I don't hold grudges. I don't argue with people. I don't bicker back and forth. Okay. I like my life. In fact, I love my life. It's the most peaceful serenity part of my entire life right now. I'm happy. I'm not up for fighting. And you know what I mean? So, and I don't have unforgiveness. Now, would I hand BJ any money? No. Is there any chance that BJ would ever be handed another 100,000? Nope. But she was handed it to him. All right. She asked for it and they gave it to him. All right. And yeah, family's rough house, and there's no perfect family. Like Grace says, no perfect family. You can go at every house in the United States or probably in the world and find one incident where, listen, I threw a shoe at my sister when we were kids. My parents went out to eat. My older sister's supposed to watch us, and which means nobody was watching us. And yeah, she was running down the steps, and I picked up a shoe and I whipped it and I hit her. And in fact, I hit her in the head. So, you know, that was years ago. It's just like, I mean, stuff happens in families. I mean, and probably, I would say probably BJ and Timmy are probably like brother and sister relationship. They're the same age. I think they're both 46 or about that. They're born at the same time, you know. So I don't know if they can all forgive each other for not having in that new home that they wish they had. Then why can't the outside people forgive? And if Mark can forgive, how come nobody else can? I'm just saying, people got to really, and listen, everybody probably has that one thing that, you know, or two things or whatever, whoever you are. But a lot of people have something they wish they wouldn't have done in the past. And how would you like to, in the front of the whole world, bring that shit up and throw it back in your face and then falsely accuse you of a whole bunch of other stuff because, hey, you did that one thing, so you probably did this other stuff. And then everybody believes the false stuff against you. And yeah, I wouldn't want to be her, you know. But I don't believe anybody's being abused. And you know what? Yeah, Mark was treated like shit. That's right. Well, hey, Lady K, how you doing tonight? Yeah, that was my favorite too. James says, my favorite thing was when Betty said, go ahead, try beat me up if you think you can. That was really mine too, because VJ said, get out of my way or I'll kick your ass. And she said, oh yeah, you think so? Try. Try it. And that's a family. I mean, that shit happens in families. It doesn't mean everybody needs to be removed on stretchers and put in ambulances all the way. Never be seen again. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm missing a bunch of comments. But that's what we're here for, just here to chat. So, but no, I don't believe anybody's been abused. As a matter of fact, you know how when when the Whittakers go somewhere, either Eric or Patrick would bring them somewhere bowling or some whatever. You see how happy they were when they got home? Did you see them all? Ray's like, it's just going crazy, and Timmy and everybody's waving. They're just so happy to be home. And so that's just going to the store and back when they know they're coming back. But can you imagine if Timmy, Lorraine, and Ray were in a state van and they were coming home and they recognized where they were? Can you imagine how crazy they would go to be home? They would just go crazy, man, when they realized they were actually going back home. I mean, they love being at their house. So no, I don't believe there's abuse at all. And they stick together. Did you guys know that? So that dude in the last video of Whittaker's on Soft White Underbelly, the guy with the glasses and no shirt on in the shorts, that is Jason Whittaker's older brother. And Mark said, yeah, the first time I came here, Jason pulled a gun on me. And he said, yeah, he did. Those guys stick together. And the last time Mark pulled up, I don't know if he did it unannounced, because I'm pretty sure he flies in and rents a rental car. But when last time he pulled up, remember, Timmy had that hammer ready to go, man. He was going to, It was going to be hammer time if anybody caused trouble. So they all stick together, you guys. And yeah, if they have to lie, they lie for each other. You know, to me, it'd be like, because they're isolated, you guys. They only have each other to count on. They don't count on outsiders. They only have each other, and they stick by thick as mud. And I'm all for that. It's like if you were on Gilligan's Island and you know, somebody came in or whatever, you know, an outsider and stuff, and started accusing everybody. Of course, they're all going to stick together. Well, even if they're wrong, they're going to stick together against this outsider till he gets off the island and goes home. You know, and even if you have to lie for each other, stick up. You know, I mean, this is an outsider, and so I don't blame them one bit for sticking together. Good for them. All families should. Yeah, Eric. Well, Eric had us fooled. He is nothing but a wolf in sheep's clothing. Your sins shall find you out. That's right. Yep. I watched a live that Patrick did with someone. He said he has the Whittaker's portion of money from his own Facebook page and account. And when asked for proof, he supposedly showed the host or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Give the Whittakers their money. Hashtag pay up what you owe, because he says, well, I'm not going to give it to him because I don't want to buy wheelbarrows with their drugs. Well, was that in the contract? Did it say, you know, any money that you spend, you know, I'm going to dictate how you spend it. When Patrick, you yourself was handed $4,000 to put some walls up and I don't know, you didn't. So Patrick really cannot be telling somebody else how to manage their money when look at what he does. Good grief. Look at your house, dude. And you just got tens of thousands of dollars and it still looks like that? Good grief, dude. That's one of the things I work on all day, every day is home improvements and landscaping and all kinds of stuff. So I just cannot believe somebody would hand it all that money and not do anything to their house. Just, to me, it blows my mind. I don't understand that. So no, he's got no room to be telling anybody else how to manage their money and how if they're spending it right or not. And that, like I said, that was in the contract. I can't imagine going to work and getting my paycheck and then they pull it back, say, nope, we heard that one of your relatives is on drugs, so we're gonna just put it in an account for you. And don't worry, you'll get it. It'll be in a trust. And then later when you die, your family will get it. Like, what the hell? What am I going to work for? My money going to trust? Remember at first they said that they were going to, it's income. The videos was income and it was going to go to the Whittakers. Now they could flip back and forth. Oh no, the Whittakers money was for the house. No. You said that you're going to open the floodgates and get the money from the house later. Oh, it's for the trust. No. You said you're going to put the trust money separate. That's supposed to be income, just like it's income for Patrick and just like it's income for Eric. You know what I mean? So yeah, you can't withhold money because you don't like the way they might spend it. Like, kick rocks. Yeah. BJ says she was getting the dog off. Yeah, that's 2 of the 3 stories. You know, Eric says that she held BJ held Timmy down and just whacked him over and over and over with the shoe. That's how he acted it out. Betty is easily manipulated, and she knew the answers Eric wanted. That's right. And they kept saying, right on video, he was saying, oh, you know, if you don't do this restraining order, then you're not getting the house. Well, that's coercion. You can't do that, especially, I mean, even if he was trying to squeeze money out of him, whatever, that'd be bad enough, but you're making somebody go to court and lie under oath so you can what? Yeah. Anyway, it's so serious. I don't know. I'm sure at some point the law will find out. Hearing things secondhand is not evidence. No. And I've said this a long time ago. Okay, everybody who thinks Timmy's abused, show me, not out of Eric's mouth, but show me out of anybody's mouth except Eric that anybody got abused. I mean, right on camera, they were forced to say it. And you know what? If you really want to get technical, on the day that they went down for the restraining order and Betty's in the truck, remember that? They were talking about Ray's birthday. And at the end of August, she thought it was July. So, you know, she might not be all together too, you know what I mean? If she doesn't know what month it is, by a long shot, then I don't know. She's very easily manipulated. You know what I mean? He could have told her it was, December. She'd probably believe it because she's doing whatever and saying whatever he wants to hear so she can get the house. Where they were in Eric's vehicle and Betty talks about BJ abused them all. She even said the dog attacked her when she's trying to. Yeah, I heard her. I played it on a video. Again, that is one incidence of a shoot. Eric used coercive tactics on Betty and Larry to get outcome he wanted. Exactly, Puff Stitch. Hey, I caught you live. What a pleasure. Good pleasure to have you here, Lady K. Good to see you tonight. Remember when Eric was so happy he brought the AMM? Remember when Eric was so happy he brought the AMM? Good to see you live too. Good to have you here. Let's see. Is your conclusion that both Patrick and Eric are equal in the wrong? No, I don't. I don't think they're equal. I think culpability is probably 80 or 90% on Eric. And Patrick probably 10 to. I believe that Patrick has misused the funds, and he did. And I think he broke the contract. And I don't even think it was a very good contract because they didn't even have a third-party witness. They didn't have a notary. They didn't nothing. They just all signed a piece of paper, I guess. But even so, and if I could ask Patrick a question, I would ask him this, or Eric. How much have you given the Whittakers since this all started in the spring? Was it just that $250 gift card that they have to split 5 ways, $50 a piece? I mean, because I think that's all they got, you guys. They have a lot of money coming their way. And yeah, so how much has the Whittakers gotten? Now I know Eric and Patrick have gotten tens of thousands and thousands and tens of thousands. So no, I think Eric is, and I think their motives are, I think everything was different. And I believe Eric is playing chess. Because remember, he had a whole bunch of pawns and he had a bishop. So Eric is trying to play chess with his pawns and his bishop. And I think Patrick is playing like Chutes and Ladders, Candyland. You know what I mean? I think Patrick had a bunch of money come in and he thought, let the good times roll. I think he used a lot of really poor judgment with Timmy, put him in situations he probably shouldn't have been in and all that. But I think I think culpability, I think it's mostly on Eric, of course. Yeah, my favorite thing. Yeah, go ahead, try. I like that too. If you think you can. And that doesn't sound like somebody who's afraid of BJ. If BJ says, I'm going to beat your ass, and Betty says, go ahead, try it if you think you can, that doesn't sound like somebody who's afraid of BJ. Sounds like somebody who has stood toe-to-toe with BJ, and BJ had to back down. Ops, Eric was so excited he brought Lorraine the chips from the Amish, like it was so good. Yeah. And that's so unhealthy. The potato chips are a killer. And he's feeding her like, I don't know, 5-gallon bucket full a day. I mean, like I said, it looked like somebody's trying to off Lorraine with some chips. You know what I mean? Go through Eric's videos and you'll see Betty and Eric in Eric's car. I have gone through the videos. And Betty said herself that BJ abused them all for years. And her past boyfriends. Betty says that there is a video that I cannot find anymore. And there's a video where she said about the shoe, because that's the only thing I ever heard is about the shoe. And one time she said they had some cousins, Javier and somebody else. I can't remember. But I can't find that video anymore. And they said Javier, one time, somebody was beating on Ray, and Larry came out with a gun and chased the guy away. One of BJ's boyfriends chased the boyfriend off the property with a gun because he was hurting Ray. So that doesn't sound like somebody who just a family that allows their relatives to be beaten. You know what I mean? And and just think about that. One of BJ's old boyfriends, I don't know, hit somebody. That's an old boyfriend. How many years ago was that? And by the way, when you go to get a restraining order, in most states, it's almost all the same. You have to have like 2 or 3 instances that have happened recently, like in the last week or so. They didn't have that. I don't even know how the third try, even the third try, they tried to get a restraining order, because you have to have at least 2 instances in most states to get a restraining order, and they have to be recent. And they didn't have 2 recent ones. And Betty was just nodding like a, bobblehead. Yeah. Or whatever Eric said. No one acted excited about seeing E and P. Right. I know. And as a matter of fact, so if you look at the difference between, you can look at the difference between when Mark Laeta comes over and everybody's happy and they love it. And Ray just could not stop hugging Mark. He just loves him. Everybody loves Mark. And then look at the video where the last time Eric was up on the porch at the Whittakers, Timmy pulls up that newspaper. It cracked me up. And he's actually peeking over the top of the newspaper at Eric, who's just being a monster to his family and screaming at everybody. So quite a difference. I thought of that later when I put that up. I should have gave a contrast. Should have showed the contrast between when Mark goes over there or when Eric goes over there. Yep, you're right. The dogs did get rowdy in the video sometimes. I believe she threw a shoe to distract dogs and missed it. I believe so too. Because if you do watch those videos, them dogs get crazy. They even bite the back of Timmy's head one time, and Timmy just like pushed the dog. And yeah, I believe they're a family that sticks together, thick and thin. Betty got a new roof, new siding, new chair, new freezer, new floors. Larry got a truck, Kenny 4-wheeler, etc. BJ didn't spend out. You're right, Justy. You're right. And not only that, remember, in the last time Mark came over, he said, oh, what happened to the TV? And they said it burned out. They had it on 24/7. They never turned the TV off. And so they even got a TV from Mark, and they use it so much it doesn't work anymore. Good evening to Christopher Fan Always. Good to see you tonight. Krista Fan Always. Lady K, so glad I caught live. We're glad you're here too. Sure did. They ran him over the coals. That's right. Mark was treated like shit. That's right. I thought I was donating for a new home, though. I forgive, but yeah. I mean, if they can forgive each other, they're the ones who don't have the home. We all still have our homes, hopefully. But they're the ones who don't get the new home, and they forgive each other. Mark is the one who got run over the coals unfairly, and he forgives them. So if they can all forgive each other, how can these outside people not forgive? And somebody will say, like I said, somebody will say, well, it was $100,000. Okay, what is your cutoff line? So you can't forgive at 100,000. Could you forgive if it was 100? You have, like, what's your cutoff where you can't forgive? And if people try to, and this is what I don't like, my Christians are hypocrites. And the Bible says, if there's one single person you haven't forgiven, then the Father will not forgive you of your entire life full of sins. So people can walk around with a phone book full of misdeeds they've done in their life, but they can't forgive somebody for one thing that didn't even really affect them. And probably most of the people complaining didn't even send money in. But if you did, I mean, you're really supposed to be giving without expecting anything back, or really too much expectations. When you give, you give. I'm still confused why he wanted BG out so bad. I worked on that for a long time. I kept watching the videos. Everything was fine. Everything's fine. Right up to Sunday, everything's fine. Monday morning, we got to get a restraining. I'm thinking, did they like delete some stuff? Because what am I missing here? No, something happened with Eric and BJ behind the scenes. And they had been behind the scenes for 2 months, you guys, and didn't tell us anything. So they had something going on behind the scenes for months before they had their personal blow up. And then Eric wanted, and it was real easy for Eric to rally everybody against BJ because they didn't like her anyway. All right, my dog wants to come in. He's at the window barking. Hold on a second. Come on, let's go. Anyway. But yeah, he wanted her out because, I don't know, something went down with that copper. Also, we don't know if BJ is using her clean. She looked pretty healthy to me. She looked pretty healthy to me, too. And you know what? You know how it's so funny because Eric, he he's so dramatic and he pretends he's about to cry. And he says his greatest achievement in all of this was having the family taken away, but also that he got Ray to the doctor for the first time. And that's bullcrap. Because I saw where he went. I watched that video when he went to the urgent care. And I watched when he opened up that door. I saw the writing on the door, and I know exactly where it was. And I know exactly the urgent care that they went to. And this is why there's a lot of things that they do that you cannot bullshit me, okay? Because I was a nurse for 20 years. I worked in family practice Monday through Friday. And nights and weekends, I worked in urgent cares for 20 years. I worked in urgent cares nights and weekends after my regular job. And urgent cares are very limited, but usually when I worked in urgent care, it would be a doctor's office that closes down at 5 o'clock. And then we come in and we run the place from 5 on, and we're a completely separate company. And so we are using other people's facilities, so we'd have to recalibrate all the laboratory equipment when we came in, and I ran the x-ray myself. So I would run the other people's x-ray machine during the night. And so I know all about urgent cares. It's a walk-in. You don't need an appointment. And what I thought was so weird was that he went to the urgent care, and when he came out, he had they told him to go get some over-the-counter gel for his knee, over the counter. And they didn't. And she said, well, he said, she said it could be rheumatoid arthritis. It could be this, it could be that. And I thought, well, why wouldn't an urgent care have an x-ray machine there? Because we did. I never worked in an urgent care that didn't have an x-ray, because I'm the one who ran the machine. So I thought that's weird. And I looked at that urgent care, and it says on there they have on-site x-ray. So how did he not get an x-ray of his knee is beyond me. And how did he leave there and told to go to Walgreens or CVS and get a tube of some Bengay or something? Like, what? He acts like he went to the orthopedic and got him cured or something. And if you look at Soft White Underbelly's video, it was either the last one or the one before that, the recent one. BJ is there putting lotion, or not lotion, but some type of medicated cream on Ray's knee. So 2 years before Eric even showed up, BJ was already rubbing some medicine on Ray's knee during a live stream, or not during a live stream, during a video that Mark did. So he acts like he, cured the dude of some, terminal disease or something. And all you did is you did a walk-in clinic, and you can't. And he came out with no diagnosis. That was weird. It could be this, it could be that. Well, you're no better off than when you came. You had to go to Walgreens or CVS to get some over-the-counter stuff. Like, what the heck? He already had over-the-counter stuff. Anyway, if that's his greatest achievement, I don't know. Like I said, he's setting the bar pretty low. Also, we don't know if BJ's using her clean. Yeah, she does look pretty clean. Look healthy. They lied to him about Larry dying so they would send more money. BJ did actually had Betty in on, and I believe, yeah, Betty covered. They all covered for each other. That's what they do. And I don't blame them. I would stick up for my family against the outside world that I don't know. 100,000 don't go far. I know from remodeling my home, and right, Justy? I know. It's not really, it's not $1 million, even $1 million. How is BJ the stopping block for him? Well, something went behind the scenes, and personally, I think that I believe Eric had the eye on the prize was to get Timmy and get him out of there, especially after something weird was. That's my dog here. Please. Especially after the copper thing or whatever happened, I believe that Eric's goal was to get custody of Timmy and get him home where he can have him all to himself, get 100% of the earnings and all this and all these donations and the whole world just ready to just pour money over this Timmy stuff. So I think his goal was to get Timmy home. And like it or not, Timmy has family, because he kept saying, well, what if something happens to Betty and Lorraine and Larry? Like, why would something happen to all three of them by the end? He's acting like it's an emergency. What if something happens to everybody? I mean, unless they all go down in a plane crash, why would they all die at one anyway? It just made no sense. But I believe he wanted to, and like it or not, BJ could be a guardian to him. She's lived there his whole life. She's got no reason why she can't take care of Timmy if everybody went down in a plane crash. I mean, you still got BJ there. And as long as BJ is there, she's already lives there. So she's 100% eligible to be the caretaker if something happens. I think that was, I don't know. He had to get rid of her though. Tried everything. Listen to these dogs. Goodness gracious. I swear they do this on purpose. Yeah, and that was weird too. What about Eric's wife telling him not to come home because someone called her and said he was on methadone? That was weird. Cool. He says he's a recovering drug addict. Yeah, right? Now that was really weird because, and like I said, I briefly put that video out showing you that BJ's on methadone. BJ's son is on methadone. And you know what's weird? What's BJ's son's name? I forgot. The one that's also did the drugs and spent money. That son that was also at restraining order court. And anyway, they're all on methadone. And methadone is for people who are on what are those called? You know what I'm talking about. Like it for really hard drugs. It's for people to get off, and you're supposed to be on it temporarily. But some people end up on it for years and they're addicted. And on top of it all, they have to go every day to the clinic to get it. They don't like give you a bottle of pills to take home. At first, this is what I've learned. At first, they have to go every day. Like they just give you the dose and then you go home. And that's last summer. That's probably why they ran out of gas. Because I'm thinking, what the hell would Larry be out at the crack of dawn and with no gas? And I mean, I don't get it. I mean, when you're young, yeah, you run out of gas once and you figure it out. But why would, anyway, they're probably going to the methadone clinic. You got to go every day. And then after like a long time, if they trust you, they'll give you like a couple days. But you got to go like 6 out of 7 days a week. You got to drive there. So Larry was driving her. He said, I have to drive her there every single day. Well, yeah, they probably ran out of gas. And as far as, you guys stop it, please. Stop. They're having a face-off here. And as far as, just think about this. I almost did a video on it because this bothers me. How Larry had to steal $3 worth of gas in a can because they've gone all summer without getting paid. While Eric and Patrick are spending tens of thousands of dollars pissing it away like rock stars. But they haven't even gotten, so far they got $50 a piece all summer. So they don't even have money to put gas in their vehicle. They go up and take $3 of gas from Patrick and he gets blackmailed for the whole rest of the summer over it. It's like, dude, if you paid the people, they probably wouldn't need $3 worth of gas out of your can. You know, you got the can back. Anyway, crazy. And Larry said that BJ would threaten him with rape. And you know what? I believe that that Eric came up with that story. Because, you know, didn't you think it was weird? Just the whole thing was weird. The story was weird to begin with. Like, okay, well, Larry's being threatened. He's going to try to get a restraining order because he said if he doesn't do what BJ says, she's gonna falsely accuse him of, assault. Well, once somebody says that, all you have to do is just go to the police and say, hey, she's telling everybody if I don't, go out and steal gas, she's gonna falsely accuse me of assault. SA. Well, it'd be a real simple solution. You just go to the police and say, hey, she's threatening to do this. And they'll say, okay, well, if she comes in, she better have proof. Yeah. It's not like a gotcha. Otherwise, everybody would do it to everybody. But Eric acted like it was a gotcha. Like he asked you guys. I think that was, and you know what he said? Because he backed that up so much. Like, I think that was out of Eric's fantasy because, he kept saying, well, you guys, we have this dad talk thing and this happens all the time. People are always getting falsely threatened for SA. I'm like, all right, but once they say it, you just go to the police and then, you know what I mean? You tip the police off that, hey, I'm being blackmailed here with, you know what I mean? Yeah, it was a dumb story. I just think Eric went so hard to back that up. It was just odd. I think it came from him, to be honest. And Larry said BJ would threaten him. Yeah. I think BJ intimidated Eric with here, there, couldn't. Yes. And I do too, Becca. I think that BJ I think she was standing in the way and saying, you're not taking my cousin Timmy home. You're not taking my cousin Timmy with you. Yeah, I think she was putting her foot down and probably asking where the hell's all the money? Because remember, Eric said, oh, last week she called me twice asking for $300. No, Eric, you didn't tell everybody, but you had been talking to her for 2 months on the phone. It wasn't just last week. And yeah, she probably was demanding some money because it's been all summer. You guys been rolling in $70,000 checks and they haven't got more than $50 a piece for the entire summer, to the point they have to steal a gallon of gas and then they get blackmailed for that. Yeah. Mark has a pure heart and really cares about the Whittakers. I bet he's heartbroken that they're split up. I bet so too, because Mark really genuine. You can see in those videos, he's not acting like Eric did. That's right, Grace. There's no perfect family. That's what I'm thinking too, Becca Lynn. I think because BJ won't be manipulated, like I exactly say it out loud. I think everybody was just Eric was manipulating everybody and molding them like clay in his hands, you know, like putty. And I think when it came to BJ, I think BJ started calling him out for where's our money? Where's this? Where's that? And what are you doing? And I think that's why Eric, when Patrick showed Eric the wire, the copper behind BJ's trailer, I believe that was the day that Eric said, oh yeah, I'll get rid of you. Beep, boop, 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 boop. Yeah, I'm dropping a dime on this copper over here. And then I believe that the police came and then everybody went down. The guy with the scrapyard went down and all the other people went down. And some guy that just got a federal pen, he went down. Like he said in his video, this frantic video. And you know, he took that video down too. Remember that video where he's frantic and he said people were chasing him and he was going Airbnb to Airbnb and they kept finding him. Like, what do you mean aren't you supposed to be like doing videos and fundraising for the Whittakers? What do you mean people are chasing you? Like, you know, he never explained why people were chasing him, did he? And you know what else I found interesting? The whole time he was going to go with the Amish, we never heard where he was going. Never once. Or going this, I swear he said Kentucky. I don't even know. But he never said Parisburg, Virginia. Never, not once, until I came out with that video. Because one of my subscribers, I don't know if she's from there or what, but she said he was at Parisburg, Virginia, at this place, and this is where they went. And I looked, and you know what's interesting? When you look up that bishop, you look up that bishop's name, and right online, they show his house. I'm wondering if they just saw the house on the website, because that bishop shows his inside of his house on his website. All the indoor, just like they explained it. And I'm wondering if they even went to the bishop's house or did they just see that online? But somebody in my chat told me in the comments section what store they're at. And when I put it out, not until then did Eric finally say, yeah, we're at Parisburg. Well, you didn't say that before, did you? Not till it already came out and he had to do damage control. Larry sold gas while Eric and Patrick had their money, but BJ had money off the wire she stole. Where did that go? I don't know. And you know what? She hasn't gone to court. She hasn't been found guilty. I don't know. So I'm not even going to say she's guilty of that until she's found guilty. She's been arrested. She's waiting for court. So we'll see. And according to the report, hers was the least. And I don't think she didn't get charged like the scrapyard guy and the ones that were really, I think they went, you have to show your license when you scrap copper and precious metals like that. And so they probably just went through the driver's license and started arresting people. But we don't know how much she stole or what she got so far. She hasn't gone to court yet. Maybe so. Hey, Puppy Puddle. I like that name. I had little tiny footprints over my counter today. It was raining all day, and the cat came in and walked on my counter and did a U-turn and went back, and I had little paw prints all over, muddy paw prints all over my counter today. Just like that. Those soccer comments of Eric's on the new channels, I laughed out. Yeah. Oh wait, oops. I'm really behind on comments. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to. Yes, BJ was telling Betty not to let Timmy go and asking why they weren't getting paid. Yes, exactly. Exactly, Pam Fleming. I think BJ was starting to ask too many questions. Said, no, you're not taking Timmy out of state. And imagine that. Eric has Timmy at home in Georgia. And this was supposed to be on that Saturday. And once he brings him over state lines, he's all the way in Georgia with Timmy. Well, he's built a mile-high case that the home is so unfit, Timmy can't be there. He's tried to make a case that he's such a good daddy, even though if you heard about his first wife, yeah, she was talking. She would not agree with him being a good daddy. And I've heard so many stories over and over about something going on Dad Talk. So apparently Eric, and I've heard this from more than one person, Eric over on Dad Talk brought in a whole bunch of money for some trip or something. And he spent like $25,000. They went to, what was it, Key Largo? I can't remember. He was in a limousine. He was treating his family to the hotels and Airbnbs and spent $25,000 to meet Donald Trump at a dinner or some crap on everybody else's dime. So it looks like he's got a long history of this if they're correct. It is weird that Eric did what Eric did to make any reason to not pay. Yeah. And Patrick too. Patrick's making up a bunch of reasons not to pay them either. BJ stood up to Eric and Rat Dick. That's right. I don't believe the Whittakers wanted Eric to take Timmy away. Nope, I'll never. But no, they didn't. In fact, it was just so weird how he just took Timmy and just, like I said, if I had to guess, I think he was trying to get Timmy used to being away from home, get used to, not only getting him away from his family, being used to that, but I think he was trying to show Timmy such a good time that Timmy just would love to go home with him. And I think he was also trying to show adult protection what a good daddy he would be. And it's so weird because right out of the gate, remember Patrick and Eric were saying that they wanted to co-parent. Like, okay, you guys, Timmy doesn't need a daddy. Okay, and I said this before when Mark from Soft White Underbelly, when he was on the porch one time and he asked Timmy, who's your mom? And Timmy points to Lorraine. And he said, okay, here's the big question, Timmy. Who's your dad? Timmy points to Lorraine. That is his mom and dad. He doesn't need a dad, especially somebody 5 years younger than him that's got a very unstable, both of them, I believe, are very unstable lifestyles, both of them, I believe. I don't know and with the way that Eric's temper is, good grief. Like Patrick's got poor judgment and stuff, hanging Timmy by wires and all that. But Eric, I think he's the temper of Eric and stuff. You think, man, if he gets that mad over something that he did, what's he going to do in Timmy pisses them off. You know what I mean? So no, I don't believe they wanted him either. And I think they knew. And what did Betty keep saying? You're trying to take Timmy away. You're trying to take my family away. Like I said, in case anybody doesn't know, Betty raised Timmy from birth. As soon as Lorraine had that baby. You know, they do tell who the daddy is, who they said. I forgot the guy's name. Joe Bolin or something. I can't remember. They said who Timmy's dad was. And Mark said, what happened? How did she get pregnant? And they said, well, she was walking down the road one day and somebody pulled her down the ditch and she got pregnant. And he goes, well, what happened? And they looked and it goes, Timmy happened. And he goes, and Mark says, oh, is that the way things are done around here? Anyway, they don't need a daddy. And they particularly don't need Patrick and Eric to be a daddy. Because according to everybody, like thousands of comments, Patrick had 6 kids and none of them are really been whatever. So anyway, there's, according to everybody in their lives, neither one have been a father of the year. You know what I mean? And if that's what he's going to be feeding Timmy, good grief. Timmy will have a heart attack in the 6 months. Tell him sweets and sugar and stuff. Sugar is so bad for people. But no, I don't believe they want it. And I think that they were getting suspicious and all these adoption papers and all of a sudden the state and can you imagine these people pulling up to your house in carloads of nurses and people with clipboards and they want to know what's going on over here. And you think, what? A state being called in? Like, what the hell? And I think they knew what he was trying to do. And they said, hey, kid, get Timmy home. Bring Timmy home on Friday. They said, enough's enough. They knew the restraining order got missed and he's going to come up. He's going to do something. So they said, bring Timmy home on Friday. They said, bring him home. And Eric said, well, okay, I'll bring him home. But as long as I can take him the next day back to Georgia. And like, yeah, you can do that. Just bring him home. And then they, thank God, he did not leave. Because I'm telling you, once he's gone for a couple months, good luck trying to get him back. And he always keeps saying that he has to do all the talking for Timmy. They don't have a voice. Yeah, they do. Just because Timmy's nonverbal. And I don't even think Timmy's really that. I don't even think he's really mentally handicapped. I think he just has a hard time talking. I think he's actually pretty smart. But yeah, I don't think he's like, anyway. But I also believe that he was doing whatever Eric told him to. Because the family's all saying, just do what Eric says. We're going to get this house. We're going to get a bunch of money. Just do what he says. They didn't get the house or the money. And look what happened to them. His family is loyal to each other. No way they would put BJ in jail for coming around to see them. That's right. In fact, when BJ got put in jail, they bailed BJ out. When Larry got in jail, BJ bailed him out. They stick together. I hope they recover money, buy themselves a safe home, and be together. We all need to stop judging. That's right. Let these people live their lives. They did just fine. And being a nurse also, I don't believe that Ray sits in his urine and feces all day. I've mentioned this before. If you sit in your urine very long, let alone feces, you're going to have these rashes and it's going to turn into sores and holes in your skin and all this other stuff. And staph infection, and it'll take you out. What put Patrick and Timmy in bed? Yeah, exactly, Mr. Kane. That's what I said from the get-go. In bed with no clothes on, just some underwear, and they're doing a pillow fight and touching each other. It's weird. You know, it's just like, remember, and they're like, well, yeah, that's what they said with Michael Jackson. Remember that? He just likes the children. He likes children. Yeah, he's not doing anything. They're just in bed. You're stupid. He likes the children. It all ended so quickly just because VJ was in the camera. Yeah. And that was his excuse. And told him, you're not taking Timmy. That's right, they did. You're not taking Timmy anywhere. Scram. City boy from Georgia. BJ was smarter than Eric and Rat Dick. That's right. I think they're all liars and manipulators, with the exception of the trio. And I think the trio needs to stay where they are, being taken care of for the first time in lives. I don't believe that. I don't believe they're being taken care of the first time. I think they're well taken care of. As a matter of fact, like I said, there's not a single video or even the Google image that you can see laundry every single day. There's laundry hanging out on their laundry line. Betty or whoever it is, somebody's doing laundry every day. Patrick made a big mistake asking Eric for help. Yeah, that was. Yeah, he fell for his lines. Eric always looks unbathed. Yeah, you notice that too? He has the classic look of a mean bully, like Brutus from Popeye. Yeah, you're right. And you know what somebody brought up and I never noticed, but once somebody says something, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Somebody mentioned one time that he's drinking out of like 3 different cups. Now, a lot of times he's got a tumbler. Like me, I have well water. I drink ice water straight out of my well. I love my ice water. So when he was drinking, I thought he was drinking water just like I do, ice water. But somebody said, notice he's got 2 or 3 cups. And I did. He'll drink out of the tumbler, then he'll drink a coffee cup, and then he'll drink another cup. And did you notice he vapes constantly? Not that there's nothing wrong with vaping, but I didn't even notice until like a week or 2 ago that, man, he vapes on that thing constantly. And, but you'll see him drinking out of probably 3 different cups, 2 or 3 different cups. And like I said, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And I just took a clip the other day. I took a clip where they're sitting out on the deck. They taught Timmy how to call BJ a bitch. What is she? She's a bitch. And he's saying, yeah, she's a bitch. Just like you would do if you know, divorce people and they say, your mommy's a bitch. Yeah, she's a bitch. You know, you can teach that to somebody. Well, anyway, in that video where they're out on the deck, Eric has got a coffee cup and Timmy sits down and he smells the coffee cup and he points, he said, ick, ick, ick. And Eric says, no, this is coffee. Timmy, do you like coffee? Timmy said, yeah, I like coffee. And he said, and then he was showing how his cup stinks. Something in that cup stinks. And so like once somebody pointed that out, I'm like, dang, even Timmy is saying whatever's in your cup stinks. And he's saying, it's just coffee. You like coffee. And he says, yeah, I like coffee, but I don't like what's in your cup. Yeah, Eric put a bullseye on BJ's head and the family in danger by saying she was exactly. You could get killed by that, you know. You know, that can get somebody killed. All drag are master manipulators. Yes, they are. Yep. There's no reason to destroy the Whittaker family. No. 4 drive 1 way, right? 4 hour. Yeah. Are you talking to, or which drive? 8 hours. Yeah. Oh, to Virginia. Yeah. To Parisburg, Virginia. I can't remember. But there was an Amish builder that was only 2 hours away. So they could have, that was in West Virginia. And I'll tell you what, like I said, you can't bullshit me on medical stuff because I've been there and I've been in it for a long time. You can't bullshit me on land and land development and stuff because I have my own plot of land here and I've done that stuff. I've even put my own septic in last year. So, you know, I know about clearing land. I know about living on a plot of land. I know about this stuff. And, but yeah, so, and another thing that I know about is Amish, okay? Because I'm in Minnesota, all right? Don't you know, we got the Amish. You betcha we got Amish up here. And I'm very thick in the Amish. And in fact, my dog, my border collie, Australian Shepherd that is on my page, that's the day I got my dog from the Amish. I know the Amish. They've been to my house at least twice. I've been to their house at least twice. I've been to their store. I've been to their stand. We know the Amish people up here, and they're at the flea market. Anyway, I've been to their house, and I got my dog from them. So I know the Amish people. I know how they work, and I cannot believe. And no, they don't have banks. They have something like, what's it called? Bird in the hand. They have their own little bank. It's like their own bank in their own community. Nothing to do with. So there's no way a GoFundMe could have been. It's a bird in the hand. Like, how they say a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush, because they believe having that money cash in their hand is better than putting it in a bank. That's why it's called bird in the hand. And so they don't recognize. So there's no way you could have put a GoFundMe into the Amish. And I know the Amish. And in fact, I was at the Amish house getting my puppy, and I had to go there. I had to go back because the first time I went, it was on Sunday, and it was the Lord's Day. Okay. They observe the Sabbath. They're very religious people, and they observe the Sabbath. So I could not pay them for the dog on Sunday. I had to come back. I came back a couple of days later and got the puppy because they won't take money on Sabbath. So anyway, I had to come back. They're very religious. So I don't believe that they would have done anything underhanded. I just don't. You know what I mean? I just don't see it. Putting it in their own bank, yeah. And usually the Amish, like, they want to get paid up front. You know what I mean? I don't know. I can't see them running a GoFundMe, and it wouldn't even be possible because you cannot put a GoFundMe into the bird in the hand piggy bank that at their house. You know what I mean? Yeah. Is only an hour away, Parisburg. I had it up on the Google. I can't remember. Nothing else was true. Why would going to the bishop's house be? That's right. It will all come back to him. That's right. He went to an Amish store to buy chips in a furniture store. Yeah, that's about it. That's all. The only thing we saw was the guy who builds tables. And just the fact that it was going to be an Amish house filled with Amish furniture. Do you know how expensive Amish furniture is? Good grief. My table here was outrageously expensive. I didn't buy it. Actually, a very wealthy friend of mine gave it to me because I drove about 100 miles in an ice storm when their movers didn't show up. And I went to hell and high water, even went in the ditch with my truck and trailer. Had to get pulled out by a farmer with a tractor and a chain. And I made it down there, and I helped her get these people out of the house and closed on the deal. And she gave me that Amish dining set with some other stuff. So I couldn't afford that table. But you imagine having a whole, it's a very expensive table, thousands of dollars. Can you imagine having a whole house full of this Amish furniture? Insane. I couldn't afford it. I wouldn't have paid that much money for this table. But like I said, I went through hell and high water to get that table, but I didn't pay cash for it. Anyway. Sorry, I'm missing some comments. I'm trying to get them all. Yeah, and teaching Timmy to name call says a lot. Yeah, teaching her to call BG a bitch and just all this stuff, swearing and stuff. Yeah. I lost my spot here because it flips up like a slot machine. Yeah, he was drinking 3 cups of thing. Yeah, somebody pointed that out, and then I went by, and then I noticed. I remembered the tumbler because that's what I always drink out of ice water. So I thought he was drinking ice water, but then I noticed there was a coffee cup and ice water and all kinds of stuff. And then he's got like 3 cups going. Yeah, but Timmy didn't like the smell of one of his cups. Yeah, and laundry looks clean. Yeah, they do. She's doing laundry like great Michael Jackson impression. Oh man, yeah, this thing keeps spinning, and I'm so sorry if I'm missing your comments. Yeah. Anyway. Wow, I missed a lot of comments. Yeah, it did look like grooming. That's what I thought too. Grooming 101. Yes, that's what I thought too. Yeah, 50 grand. Yeah, what did the Whittakers get so far? How much money did they get so far? Oh man. Oh yeah. Okay. Supposedly a friend of Mass came back to the Airbnb. Eric, I don't think there was a meeting with the bishop. I think they just went and picked up Mass friend. As a matter of fact, I have a clip of that. I have a clip where Timmy, again, I think it's the same exact day where Timmy didn't like what was in his cup. But he was saying that, no, it was earlier. It was before the Amish trip, because he said Tomorrow, we're going to go to North Carolina and pick up Robert Mast's friend. Okay, so now they're bringing in friends of friends. And Timmy said something. He goes, oh, don't worry, Timmy. You're going with us to North Carolina tomorrow. So Timmy went with, I guess, to North Carolina. Then they came back to the Airbnb, dropped Timmy off with Patrick, and then Eric and his buddies all drove to the Amish place without Patrick. And you know what? I thought it was weird that the Whittakers didn't go, but then somebody mentioned that not even Patrick went. And I thought, yeah, that's even more weird because Patrick started this whole thing. And then they're going to go check out the Amish people. And not only didn't they bring Patrick, but he wouldn't even introduce his guests to Patrick. He said he wouldn't introduce me to anybody. And this not like, the more I think about it, because like I said, I live up here with the Amish, and when you leave the Amish, especially when you're of age, and they said John Mast left the Amish late in life, which is really weird. And it's almost like Scientology. So if you leave the Amish, you are excommunicated. You're done, buddy boy. As a matter of fact, most people leave about 8th, 9th, 10th grade, okay? Because the Amish, according to the Amish, you shouldn't have to go to school past 8th grade. By 8th grade, you've learned everything and you need to be working on the farm. And so the Amish have a rule. If you want to go to schooling, your fancy city schooling past 8th grade, get out, all right? You have to leave. Because, in fact, that's why there's a law right now that you only have to go to school till 8th grade legally. That's because of the Amish. Okay, because after 8th grade, you know how to read and write. You need to get your butt out there and work in the field and work in horses. And the girls get in there and cook some food and can stuff. So, and the only way that you can come back that I know of is, so once you leave, okay, usually it's very young. You'll leave, maybe want to go to school and then come back. They'll only take you back if you've not been baptized yet. And they usually get baptized like about 18 when they come of age. So usually at 18 years old, they get baptized. If you leave after you've been baptized, you ain't coming back. Okay, so I find it really weird that John Mast being excommunicated from the Amish would be welcomed open armed, and not only welcomed by the Amish to build the house, but being pivotal in the relationship between the layman and the Amish. You know what I mean? He's going to be the go-between. It's like Scientology. Once you leave, goodbye, and you're not talking to your family either. If your family stays here, you're not talking to them either. You're done. So for him to be the go-between between the non-Amish and the Amish is ridiculous to me. Ridiculous. And you wouldn't even need a go-between, like I pointed out many times. But yeah, once you... And you know what's really even weird? Like, once I read a little bit about that John Mast, that murder trial with his son. Well, the son left the Amish community too, and that's the whole reason there was the problem. The son left the Amish community, and the Amish people were fighting with the non-Amish John Mast. And anyway, so of all people, why would... It'd be like if I was going to go deal with the Amish and I had to impress them, I would not bring any ex-Amish around, because those people are going to blow the deal. If you say, yeah, I used to be Amish, but I turned against you guys, you think he's going to be the one to seal the deal? None of it made sense. Stupid. Yeah, potato chips, Amish potato chips. Well, we have an Amish store. They used to come and sit up at the picnic tables in town there for years. Now you just have to go to their store. And the store is at their house. And they do have good food. And it's not bad. I mean, it's not overpriced. It's pretty good. I believe you're right. BJ was in Eric's way. That's why he tried out. Yeah, right? I think so too. I think she was the block. And you know what's weird? He even said one time, you guys, there's a roadblock in here. We got to get the roadblock out. And I thought, you're the roadblock. But he was talking about BJ. BJ was the roadblock he was talking about. Makes one wonder if something else happened to BJ. Speculation, of course. Yeah. Supposedly a friend of Mast came. Yeah, they picked him up from North Carolina. And he was there too. So just think about this. And all these men Strange men from all over the country is with Timmy. So Timmy's with Eric, who's from Georgia, who he barely knows. He's with Patrick, who's up the block. He's from John Mass from Idaho, he doesn't know. He's from some dude from North Carolina he doesn't know. And who else? Oh, Douche from California. So Timmy was in an Airbnb with like 5 strange men from all different states that he's never met. That was just weird. Tell you what, I would never have let my kid, even if he was 100% capable of everything, I wouldn't let him go. Eric lives above his means. Oh, yeah. Eric and Timmy took Timmy on a trip. Was it to Georgia? No, they went to North Carolina to pick up Robert Mass' friend, so he could stay at the Airbnb too. And as a matter of fact, you guys remember, and I have this, I've clipped it. He said, Eric said that he took up a collection for the Airbnb, and even his buddy Dwayne put up that video and said that Eric didn't have extra money for Airbnb for Whittakers. Well, he rented a 5-bedroom Airbnb, and none of the Whittakers stayed there except Timmy. All the Whittakers came over. Remember that? They came over on Labor Day weekend. They came over and they got tired. Ray was falling asleep and they all left and went home. The 5-bedroom Airbnb was for Eric, Patrick, John Mast, Douche, and the dude from North Carolina. That's what he took up the collection for. He said it was for the Whittakers, but they didn't stay there. He'd given $50,000. I mean, they said just 1 month on YouTube alone was $70,000. Yep. He was given money to make money. Who knows the truth? That's right. I know firsthand how protected Betty is. Yeah, she raised him from the day he was born. Yes, absolutely looks like grooming. Classic narcissist love bombing. Yeah, right? And then as soon as you go against them, they explode. Couldn't figure that one out. 2 dads in the Timmy t-shirt. Yeah, they were going to make t-shirts. Two dads in the Timmy. They don't need you, okay? And you know what else I'm sick of? I'm sick of everybody thinking that only Patrick and Eric can communicate with these people. Look, for the first time, Timmy knows how to put on a jacket, and like Patrick stumbled upon these people out in the woods. Oh, look, like Jane Goodall. Oh, look, they know how to use a fork. Ooh, look, they know how to eat potato chips. And we're the only ones that know how to communicate with these Whittakers. Like, no, you don't. And whoever asked anybody for anything, they didn't ask anybody for anything. People come to Whittakers. Whittakers didn't go asking, can you get us a new house? Can you bring us bowling? Can you get anything? Did you ever ask? You know what? Not once did anybody ever say, do you want to go bowling? Do you want to do this? They're bringing them for content, right? And then when it gets all done, they give them a bill for $8,000 for all the things they did. And what did Patrick say the other day on that live stream? He spent, I don't know, $8,000 on the Whittakers. On what? On what? What did they have to show for you? They didn't want to go bowling. They know where the bowling alley's at. They know how to get there. They go if they want. And besides that, Mark Laeta already took them bowling. They did all this. Mark brought him bowling. He even brought him grocery shopping. He even brought him to get haircuts. I mean, that's not what they would want to spend there. And then instead of getting paid, they just get a big bill for all this stuff nonsense they didn't even want to do. And you know what I never once heard? Never once. Think about this. Have you ever heard anybody sit on the porch with the Whittakers and say, hey, what do you guys want to do? What would be your favorite thing to do? What do you guys want to do? What would be if you could do anything, what would it be? And then go do that. No, they're doing a bunch of shit they don't want to do. In fact, Eric said, and I have this on a video, Eric said, I told Betty, you have to come to go bowling. I showed up and Betty's face was all red, pitch red. And Betty was very upset because Larry kept telling her that they're trying to take Timmy away. And Betty was very upset. Her face was all red and she did not want to go bowling. And I said, Betty, you have to go bowling. And then when she went bowling, For one thing, like, what do you mean? What, she has to go bowling? And don't worry, but when she went bowling, she had fun. I saw her smiling. Like, okay. So you forced her to go bowling, and then you sent them a bill for the bowling. I mean, she's not once did I hear anybody say, "Hey, what would you guys like to do? What have you always wanted to do? Let's do that." No, you're filling out your own fantasies. Oh, I want to go mud bogging, and I want to go to Bluegrass Festival. No, those are your fantasies, not the Whittakers. And to me, it looks like their favorite thing is to sit on their porch. And it's like me, you guys. I'm a homebody. I love being at home. I hate even leaving my house. I love being at home. When I go somewhere, I'm so happy to be home, and that seems like how they are too. I see that in me. I love being at home. When you see when they come home, they're like, they're screaming and waving, and they're just excited to be home. They would have probably much rather had that $8,000 handed to them. Maybe they could have a septic or something put in. Bobby Rise, do you know them personally? Timmy's older than both these. Yeah, he is. Probably much smarter too. Bottom line, Patrick made the wrong decision getting Eric involved. That's right. Timmy's more than those two morons. For sure. And I'll tell you what, Timmy's never stolen money from anybody or made a deal. I will bet the bank Timmy's never screwed anybody over financially or any other way. I guarantee he's never done any of these things those two did. Yeah, Joe Bolin, that's who it is. And I looked up Joe Bolin. He passed away a while, but yeah, he was there. No, he passed away a while ago. Seen his obituary. Eric probably locked him in a dungeon when he wasn't feeling right. Who knows what would happen? Lorraine is so cute. Looks great for her age. Yes, she is. But she seems happy too. Betty also raised Brandon from a baby like still said, really? Yeah, because I saw in when Mark first started going to the Whittakers, BJ was only 26 years old and she was pregnant with one of the kids. That's how long he's been going there. Now she's 46. Some guy down the road, yep. Joe Bolin is a term country for, really? Oh, there is somebody actually named that. Yeah, somebody's got that. Oh, really? It's a term, folks. There's an obit. Yeah, I saw the obituary. Yep. Yeah, I think he had like a military uniform on, if I remember right. But yeah, I seen it. Yeah, he's a real person. Died in 2003. Yeah, just as Joe Bolin also did the service for when the brother Freddie died. Really? I didn't know that. So he is a friend of the family. You know what I mean? We pay sugar tax at the till for any product that has more than so many grams of sugar. And well, that's probably good. I'm telling you, sugar is a killer. It gives people diabetes. And you know, if I have too much sugar, my knee hurts. I got a torn ligament in my knee and a cartilage that tore off. And I just have it for years. And I try not to, you know, I put heat on it if it ever hurts too much. Because I won't even take an Advil. Grace gave me some cream one time to put on it. And that helped. But if I eat a bunch of sugar, my knee kills me. I'm telling you guys, sugar causes inflammation, and it will swell up any. And so just notice if you're in a lot of pain from an injury or something, just realize what kind of sugar you ate that day, and it'll make sense. Betty understands everything Timmy says. Yep. Yeah, they do. They have their own language. We have a loop back. I'm just tuning in. I have to loop back. Okay. Good to see you tonight, Susan. Hope you get your videos over the investigators in this. You're really in this and have figured out. Thank you, Puppy Puddle. Ryan says, shout out to the moderator for getting rid of that snowflake. Oh, was there snowflakes? I didn't even see it. I got really good moderators. Really good. Good peeps. Pam Fleming, wow, no one knows the real truth. I think they didn't take Betty because she couldn't talk. Yeah. Well, and I believe that Ray and Lorraine were just going to be collateral damage. You know what I mean? It's like carpet bombing the place just to get one person out. You know what I mean? If they were collateral damage. The whole family ended up to be collateral damage. But I think at first it was just going to be Ray and Lorraine. If get them all taken away, the three taken away, and just happen to have emergency custody papers all ready to go, filled out for and already discussed with APS. Like, okay, those two can go to homes, but I'll take Timmy. Remember, I filled out the papers last week. All over Ray's shirt, it's snuff. Yeah, right? It is. He chews snuff. Ray chews snuff. Thank you, Ryan. They looked happy to me sitting on that porch. That's right. Yep, and laundry looks clean. Yep, he's drinking 3 cups things. Tenacity for the truth. What's your channel? I've tried to find it. Yes, he was drinking booze, whiskey. And you know what? I got a video clip of people were asking. Everybody was so angry with Betty because Eric convinced everybody that on that Friday when he did that live stream and the next day, he convinced everybody that Betty had canceled the restraining order behind his back. So everybody just hated Betty. Everybody was all ripping on Betty. And then somebody put up a super chat. I don't know if it was $5 or something, but it got up on the screen and it said, so Betty canceled the restraining order? That's horrible or something. And Dwayne read it, and out of all these people saying Betty canceled it, he said, oh, here's a super chat. They said, oh, so Betty canceled the restraining order. And Eric looks at the camera and goes, oh, I just realized, you guys, I'm wearing a shirt that says beer. It says beer and barbecue. You guys, I don't drink beer. I promise I don't drink beer. I just noticed my shirt said beer. Completely changed the subject. And then point out he doesn't drink beer, but it doesn't mean he doesn't drink hard liquor. I mean, but he had to change the subject when everybody's blaming Betty. Oh, look, you guys, and I have that clip of that. I can put it up when I'm done here. What's your channel? Okay. Whiskey in one, chasing it. You know, that's probably it too, right? I'm thinking, why does he need so many cups? He's constantly drinking. Like, what are you on that you got dry? Yeah, and he was very agitated, and his sinuses kept draining, and he's sweating like a pig and very agitated, like snorting it back up. And I'm thinking, why don't you just blow your nose? You know what I mean? Seem to have sinus issues. You got a lot of drainage, Eric. You're sweating like a pig, and you're very agitated and talking really fast. You might want to see a doctor. I had an employee who always had a big tumbler of water. It turned out it was vodka. She was so happy by the end of the day. I'm retired RN. Those siblings took care of each other 60 plus years. They had a roof, plenty of food, and plenty healthy. Most of all, honestly happy. Thank you, Karen. Thank you. And as a retired RN, you know, and yep, I'm retired too now. But as a nurse, you can see that nobody's abused. Everybody's very healthy, very well fed. They're eating healthier than Eric, that's for sure. And they all have a roof over their head. They're happy. They hug each other. They love each other. And when an outsider comes, they're quick to protect each other. That's right, Karen. I'm glad you guys see that. They was living their life the best way they knew how. It was being left alone. Yeah, they should have stayed that way. Teaching Timmy to call. Yeah, name calling. Yep. Eric knows all about parental alienation, so he taught Timmy easy. Yep. Call the other person that you don't like. Teach him how to call him a bitch. And as a matter of fact, did you guys ever notice there was so people would be putting comments like in all capital letters in the comment section, and somebody kept typing over and over, quit using the Lord's name in vain, because he'd say Jesus Christ and God damn it and all this stuff. And Timmy kept saying, don't. Timmy was trying to say, don't say that, it's bad. Because they don't, if you notice, Whittakers don't really swear and they don't use the Lord's name in vain. And so people in all caps were saying, Timmy doesn't like when you're swearing like that. You know what was wrong. Yeah, I swear I said one's alcohol and one's a chase a long time ago. I didn't notice till somebody pointed out. And then once you see it, you can't unsee it. You saw about Timmy in the cup, did you, Susan, when he was saying it stinks? Eric was pretending it was coffee. He said, what, you don't like coffee? And Timmy goes, yeah, I like coffee, you know what I mean? But that's not coffee. My mom would drink a beer in a coffee cup in the morning, and she was a hard worker. Kept a spotless house. I miss her, yep. Some people are functioning with some booze, you know. Timmy was always picked his head. I think Eric scolded him until it upset him. They filmed the show after upsetting him so bad, yep. And you know, you notice in some of those pictures, Timmy's got his arms folded in over his chest, like it's very defensive position. You can see in a lot of them pictures he's not happy. Timmy's not happy. Eric sounded drunk many times, especially when he did the late night. Yeah, I started catching on to that. I thought it was a tumbler of water because that's what I have, you know what I mean? And so I just didn't even look. Yeah, my son got his dog from the Amish. Dude, really? Yep. They have border collies. They have farm dogs, so they got mine's a border collie and Australian Shepherd mix. But yeah, I got mine from the Amish. I love the Amish. That's why everything he said, I know. Oops, I think I just logged off for a second. Let me make sure this is plugged in. Yeah. When him and Timmy went to shoes at Walmart with his brother, he was pouring sweat for no reason. His brother was in the back seat high. My husband called that out. Yeah. And you know what? That's right when you know what? That same time when that brother came and I saw the receipts, Eric said, I'm bringing my brother Sean up here, and I gave him $500 to spend out of the pot. And that's when BJ got put in jail, and he went home. And when BJ got put in jail, he came back with his brother, you know, for some muscle or something. I don't know, for some kind of support. But he gave the brother $500 to spend. You know, he used to drive them around Pennsylvania. Yeah, and you know what? My sister used to live up here, and she used to drive the Amish around. And so when people are saying that, like people would say dumb comments like, what are you talking about? The Amish can ride in a car. I said, I never said they couldn't. My sister used to drive the Amish around. She thought they were bossy or something. I don't know. But she did for a while. My family provides respite for families whose fragile adult family member needs 24-hour care. If I were to be in short, sticking my foot in his face on social media, yikes, they'd hang me. Yeah, remember that? That's what I said. I think Patrick used a lot of poor judgment, really poor judgment. And one of them is sleeping in your underwear with the guy in the bed, and also putting like videotaping. He had, I guess, some really stinky feet, and he was putting it. Timmy was sleeping, and he put his bare, stinky feet on Timmy's face, and Timmy woke up to this nasty feet. Another time he had, and Timmy was grossed out as anybody would be. Another time he told Timmy to rub his feet, and he rubbed Patrick's bare feet. And then Patrick said, now smell your hands. And Timmy smelled his hands and almost puked. But stuff like that. And then the way Eric was following him to the bathroom during a live stream, saying, what are you doing? What do you think he's doing in the bathroom? Oh, I heard something, music. Right, it's from the thing that you gave him. You know exactly what it was. Anyway, I lost my place, you guys. This thing spins out. I believe, yeah. Hotel, he would have to drive to Beckley, Princeton, 20, 30 miles away. And I think he wanted to get out of the area. Supposedly, one of the Airbnbs was only, the one where Patrick was at with him was only 5 miles away from Patrick's house. 72 days in a 5-bedroom. Yeah. Can you believe that? Do the math. 72 days in these giant Airbnbs. I think they're 500 and up a month. I mean, a night. $500 and up a night for if you want 5 beds. Yeah, it is a nice table. Yeah, it is. James Smith said motel bed was too hard and Pat's house wasn't. Yeah, he did. And remember, first he said that they were at a Airbnb and they had to leave quickly because they had a weird smell, which I don't believe, because if you have an Airbnb with a weird smell, it's going to go on the reviews and you're not going to get anywhere. So I don't believe it had. But later on that video where Eric was frantic and he's at home and saying, oh my God, they were following me. And I'd go to a new Airbnb and they'd find me there too. And they said, you don't know what kind of can of worms you opened up. And then I'd go somewhere else and they'd find me there too. Like, what? I thought you were doing videos and fundraising for a house. Yeah. So he made excuses why he had to keep running from one to the next. But then later, the truth came out. I think he said 3,000 for 6 days. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And so now I'm hearing stories from his other channel. I mean, from other people about his podcast where he was just living lavishly on people's money, like taking limousines and bringing his family and $25,000 a plate to meet the president and all this other stuff. Yeah, Eric knew there was going to be a lot of money to spend. Mass, knowing the bishop that had sons and a company that built houses could make all that money and Whittakers could have a house. Yep. 7 days, that's wanting to live, yeah, way above the means. I have antique furniture not made by Amish, but will last. Exactly. I like the old solid wood stuff. How does Eric think he has $100 to his name but come forward? Exactly. You remember that, James? Remember he said that he came here with $100 to his name in his account, and he had to keep calling his bank to see if the bills were going through because they were not going to go through. Anyway, now I'm at the bottom, you guys, so I probably missed 100 different comments. How is Airbnb that much in a small town? I believe. Yeah, it is, because I looked at the Airbnbs. I didn't really have time because I've been really, really, really busy. But I probably could have found that Airbnb. But if you look in the search engine for Beckley in that area around Odd, if you type in 5 beds, everything is over $500 with 5 beds. Even a one bed, even efficiency with a fold out couch is like $300 or something. Yeah, here's 500 and up for the 5 bed. Yeah, Eric said there was a motel nearby, but the bed was too hard. Yeah, always an excuse to spend some more money. My brothers were monsters to me. I think most people grew up with someone that taught him how to be tough by teasing and farting and big brother cousin thing. Eric is bougie. Yeah, I'm not bougie. I didn't even know what that meant. Saying that you're not bougie just means you're bougie. I agree, Puppy Puddle. Motel at Winter Place. Puppy Puddle, right. Pat was good. I'm just lost on my comments now. Thank you, paying in. Eric was in it for the money from the get-go. If he truly cared about family, Timmy would still be fighting. That's right. And you know what's kind of funny? When all the smoke cleared and Eric went home, and by the way, the police were waiting for him. He said the state police were waiting for him at midnight when he got home. Now, he said it's because the police told him that his phone number was leaked online. Well, wait a minute. First of all, the state police wouldn't come over your house at midnight to tell them that your phone number got leaked online. No way. That's not what they do. But I typed in Eric Carroll phone number, and there was about 2 pages of Eric Carroll's phone numbers. Just type in Google, Eric Carroll phone number, Georgia, and it comes up phone number, even his address. So why would the cop come to your house at midnight to tell you that somebody looked up your phone number on Google? They don't do that. They were there for something else, you guys. And as a matter of fact, remember, Eric said, adult protection told me by the time I leave there, that money's going to be in their hands. And guess what, you guys? It's not. Right, because you left before they could get it out of your hands. And the cops are waiting for you when you get home, like, yeah, I was going to look, because it'd be real easy. They had those wall hangings, and that one had that fireplace with the TV above it and those wall sconces and stuff. It would be real easy to find the Airbnb if you just took a minute. But I know, I looked in the search engine, put in 5 beds, and there was nothing under $500. All the way up to $1,500 a night. Right? Who sticks their, right? Rat Dick Hillbilly. And you know what's funny? I almost did a video about it, but I'm trying to put out the important ones that are trying to maybe help them get their family back. But little videos I could have done, and one of them was Dwayne was saying that their whole goal with Patrick and Eric, especially Eric, he was telling his friend, talking his friend up, saying Eric's whole deal was he didn't want to make fun of the Whittakers, and he wasn't gonna keep calling them the inbreds. And Eric really wanted to give them their dignity. So what's his name? What does Dwayne do? He puts out that video, and I don't know how many jabs he took at the Whittakers and Odd West Virginia themselves, calling people holler hoochies or something, holler hoochies, and made fun of their overhang for their porch. I mean, all kinds of just jabs at the Whittakers. And what happened to you're gonna try to give them some dignity? Yeah, Dwayne. I understand the Airbnb. So Eric got air through donations and let Patrick stay, and Patrick wrecked it. Eric didn't tell them he was leaving it. Mary says, I think Eric is addicted to Ada before leaving pill. Now, it is weird. Yeah, holler hoochies. Is that what they were? He took so many digs at the Whittakers, and so much for giving them dignity, right? But the funny thing is that, so Eric broke his leg, and remember, I'm sorry, Patrick. I'm so dyslexic on their names, you guys. I know that. But Patrick broke his leg, and Eric was doing a live stream, and they said, "Hey, are you on any medications for your leg, broken leg?" And Patrick's like, "No," or whatever. And Eric said, "I told him he should be on some pills. I told him he needs to be on some pills and get some relief." So he was all like for Eric. Eric was all for Patrick, saying, "Yeah, I was telling him he should be on some medications for all this pain." Remember telling him, yeah, he should be. And this is coming from a guy who blames the dentist for getting him hooked on codeine or something, narcotics. And if you notice in that story, when he told the story how he got hooked on narcotics, he didn't take one bit of responsibility for it. He blamed the dentist. He said he had strep throat. No, it was not the dentist. It was the doctor. Now, I worked in doctor's offices and urgent cares for 20 years. I did strep screens on people. I've seen it. That was probably the most thing we had was strep screens. Really, I've never once seen somebody get put on narcotics, like a box full of narcotics for a strep throat. I just never seen it. Not once. But he blames the doctor for giving him this gigantic box full of narcotics for his sore throat, which that'd be a first if I ever saw it. But didn't say like, because, okay, if that's the case, then he says, I was a victim of the narcotic stuff. Anyway, so he doesn't take any responsibility like that, you know. But he was saying nope. Eric was saying no. Patrick don't take no pills. I'm telling him he should, but he's not doing it. Then later, when they have a falling out, Eric says, "Man, that Airbnb was trashed. He pulled the flowers out of the vases and used them for spittoons, and then there's pills all over the floor." Wait a minute, Eric. You told us that Patrick refuses to take any pills. So where are all these pills coming from? And somebody had a good point too. If you have a dog and you have a couple dogs, there's no way you would have pills on the floor because your dog might eat them. And if you're a pill addict, there's no way you just toss them all over the carpet. Those are your pills, man. You fight somebody, you throw down over them pills. You're not going to just throw them all over the carpet and go home. And drug addicts don't throw their drugs on the floor and go home. They just don't. So none of that made sense to me. Holler hoochies. And then there's even a video. In fact, when Eric said, "I'm going to go home," the Whittakers ruined everything, and I just have to leave. And he was saying how he has to get home to his wife because he's a little he's gone too long without sex. They were trying to say. And they said, yeah, we were all talking there. Remember that douche and all the rest of them were having a conversation with Eric, how when he gets home, he already told the wife he's It's what he said. He's sexually frustrated. And he said, when I get home, my wife already knows I'm frustrated, and she already knows I'm coming home. And the friends are all laughing. Yeah, he's really frustrated. He's got to get home to the wife. And I thought, that's weird how you're all talking about it, and not just with each other, but it's right on video. Like, why would you tell everybody that? We could have gone without hearing that. Patrick less shitty than Eric. Yeah, I think he's less culpable by far. I think his motives were different. Like I said, Eric was playing chess and Patrick was playing Chutes and Ladders, Candyland. Pain melt makes me feel sick. Don't like to. Yeah, I won't do nothing. I won't even have an Advil. Ugh. Yeah, they don't pass out. Yeah, Grace knows too. She knows. They don't pass out heavy duty for minor sore throat. Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. Empty capsule because they eat the head off. Really? I don't know anything about that. In fact, the drugs they have now, they weren't even on a testing. When I worked in a doctor's office, we tested for drugs. We did drug screens. We even did screens for, work physicals. We had to do, we did different companies. We did the work physicals, including the drug screens for these people. And we didn't have none of these drugs back then. And so a lot of this stuff is new to me. Quit ringing the bell. A lot of this stuff is new to me. So yeah, I don't know what the hell they're doing. I think Ian and Pierre are in on this whole thing together, allegedly. Maybe. I think they started out in it together, but I think very quickly they both were running amok. He never produced photos. Yeah, that's right. He kept saying that he had photos. Well, show us, because that if Patrick really did trash that Airbnb, we all know that there would have been photos and he would have rolled them out. Then he acts like he just found out about Patrick's record. Yeah, right. You know damn well about Patrick's record. They all did. Yeah, poor wifey. She's got to go get ready. The divorce is crappy ass. Who knows? I don't know. I wouldn't want to be married to him. Hell no. Eric couldn't come home. Yeah, that's what she said. Now listen, if I had a husband and somebody went to us and said that they claimed to be our lifelong friends, for one thing, he just married the wife on December 23rd, 2020. So he's not even been, 5 years? Not even 5 years Eric's been married. So first of all, nobody knew Eric and the wife their whole life. Not that I could say. And Eric had just, everybody was saying that he, I don't know if it's true, but I guess he left his pregnant wife and whatever. So how can he have known if he was with a wife previously and then he married her 5 years ago? How could they have known each other? The whole story just seemed so weird. And if me and my husband had somebody tell him that I can't go home because I'm on methadone, well, my husband would laugh. He'd say, what the hell are they talking about? You're on methadone. I didn't say that. And who is this people that say that they know us? Anyway, me and my husband would have had a good laugh over that. I wouldn't be screaming at my husband that it's all true. Yeah, right? Drug readers, they don't leave their pills on the floor. They need those. They worked hard for them. They go through a lot of problems and a lot of trouble to get these drugs. They don't just leave them laying around and just go home while they're on the carpet. Plus, you got the dog there, like, I don't know. Yeah, and no photos, no nothing. We haven't seen nothing, no proof of this. And supposedly, Patrick said that on the live stream, on Lady K's live stream, he said that he showed the texts to the Airbnb. He said, why are you accusing me of trashing the Airbnb? And you know what? That Airbnb guy never got back to him, never got back to Patrick. And remember the time where they said, hey, did you? So Patrick was trashing the Airbnb. Eric's like, yep. They said, did you have to pay extra money? And he goes, don't worry, it's all taken care of. I took real good care of that guy. So I think Eric, my personal opinion, paid the guy a little extra just to shut his mouth. If anybody asks anything, if Patrick calls, just don't just ignore him. He's crazy. He's gonna say all kinds of stuff. If Patrick gets a hold of you, here's an extra, $50 or whatever. He said he took real good care of that guy. And so, yeah, I believe he said if Patrick calls and tries to get a hold of you, just ignore him. And here's the extra bucks. Yeah. Yeah, now he's going to give the photos to the police. Oh, okay. Irregardless of the money, the family should be together. That's right. Patrick had a lady friend at the Airbnb helping him out with his broken leg, and she tidied every day. Yeah, that's that lady. That's his girlfriend. And they had a kid, too. Then Eric said that there was diapers laying all over. That girl's like probably 4 years old or something. I don't know who would have the diaper. Who had the diapers? Eric? Patrick? I don't know. That girl looked a little old for diapers. I think he takes something he used to do. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. How do we know the Airbnb called anyone? If he got a call, it would have been from anyone. Yep. Yeah, I exactly. Just if somebody told me my husband's on methadone, I would laugh. And if somebody told my husband, if I had one, hey, Kathy's on methadone, he would laugh because he knows I'm not, and I know he's not. And if somebody from the outside is accusing us of being on methadone, him and I would team up together and have a good laugh as we disproved them or whatever. Yep. Yeah. I mean, Eric has all the actions. Yeah. Yeah, the pill, all them pills are expensive. I used to hear of people paying $80 for one pill. I don't know what it was, but somebody paid $80 for one pill. I'm like, dang. So I don't know how much they are, but I know that all drugs, all them hard drugs are really expensive. And people, there's no way an average person can pay for these drugs. So they have to do illegal things to get them and lie and do all kinds of stuff to get them. Because, yeah, unless you're, Rockefeller, nobody can afford them drugs. Yeah, Eric, the guy started out with $100. Let's see, what was it? In May or June, he started out with $100 and bills that weren't going to clear the account. And somehow he went 75 days or whatever it was in an Airbnb, never got reimbursed, and somehow he's still, he's a magician with that money, isn't he? Never got reimbursed. And then in the next breath, he shows you the receipts on where he got reimbursed. Oh, I got to show you guys. You should see. You should see. So one time, Eric and his buddy Dwayne were doing a live stream where he was all upset, saying that he put all this money out and he showed, and he paid Patrick and he didn't pay the Whittakers. No, Whittakers never get paid, either from Patrick or Eric. Neither one of them. They never pay the Whittakers. Somehow they're getting paid, but Whittakers never get paid. But he showed, he goes, I could show you my expenses right now. But he was bluffing. But Dwayne didn't know he was bluffing. So when Eric said, I could show you my spreadsheet right now, Dwayne goes, oh, you want me to bring it up? And Eric looks surprised and goes, yeah, I mean, if you want, I guess. And they brought it up and it was real tiny and you couldn't read it. Even Eric said, I can't read that. And Dwayne said, I'll read it. And goes, yep. And there's a bunch of expenses, like 8,000 came in on Facebook, and I don't know, another 12,000 here, and I don't know, a lot of money came in. And then they didn't really show it. So I took that clip and I blew it up full screen on a huge screen, and I put 1080 pixels so I could read it. And you guys, you can have a good laugh. Eric wrote a whole bunch of numbers, just random numbers in 3 rows, didn't say nothing what it was for. And that was his expense sheet. I'm gonna put that up just as a short video. You guys are gonna laugh. I mean, you're gonna see his records that he put up. Oh man, I drink THC soda. It's not often, but it will cause me to laugh. Yeah, Well, at least THC is natural. You know what I mean? I suggest everybody stay away from that hard stuff. But THC, that's natural. And it's legal in most states. You can get it right in the store now. My advice to anybody is just don't overdo anything. No matter what it is. Even if it's potato chips. Don't overdo it. Everything in moderation. You want to see the receipt now? I don't know how to turn this. I don't know how to do that. Let me see. Now, I'd have to pull it up on my thing, and I can't do that right now because I'm on my phone. But I will. I'll put up the receipts. I'll put that up when I get off of here. You guys are going to have a good laugh. Yeah. Yeah, and actually, there's medical marijuana now, too. Yeah, it's legal in Minnesota where we're at. It's been legal for a couple years. Eric appeared intelligent on the surface. Yeah, after one or two times watching him, I couldn't believe he would attempt such a stunt. He was so obvious, and Dwayne was obviously proving him up. Yeah, exactly. And you know what's funny? The first video I ever saw was just still Patrick back then. First Patrick Whittaker video I saw was him and Timmy, and I can't remember what they did, but I told my friend who was in the chat here, one of my moderators, Kiss My Grits. She came over to my house one day, and I said, "Hey, did you happen to see the Whittakers are back?" And she's like, "No." And I said, "Yeah, it's some guy, and he's I don't know, going fishing with Timmy or something." And I thought it was good, And she says, "Yeah, whatever. They're grifters." And I said, no, I thought, that's cynical. You know what I mean? No, this guy looks like he's really being nice to him. And she's like, nah, it's a scam. And I thought, that's cynical, but no. And I watched the second one and the third one, and I'm trying not to see anything, but I saw stuff. By the third or fourth video, I'm thinking, these SOBs. Like I said, you can't fool me about the Amish, and you can't fool me about medical stuff, and you can't fool me about real estate either, because I've worked with realtors for 15 years, and I've done real estate deals, and that's how I got ahead, was doing some smart real estate deals. And like I said, I've never taken a penny on YouTube. I've been on here 10 years, done 2,500 live streams. I've done hundreds of videos, and never took a penny in my life, because I've earned my money outside of here. So, yeah. You're on your way to get your throat swabbed? Yeah, 10 perks. Yep. 20. Yep. Get some of them 80 milligrams and all that. Or $80 ones or whatever they were. Get some of those $80 pills. I heard those are good. Yeah, that's what Eric went. Pills, the empty capsules, they empty them out and what? Put them in their drink? Yeah, I don't know about that stuff. I don't. And opening up capsules, like a time capsule, like a time release capsule. Those are usually gel caps. Those are gel. Gel caps are time release. Do you think they will walk away with all the money you think Betty will get? No. What I think, and it's not ever been really popular, my opinion is that eventually the Whittakers will come back. I think that all three will come back. I think they're going to find out that they need to go home, and there's not really anything to this. And I believe at some point the Whittakers are going to get a whole lot of money that they got coming, because Patrick already got his share, Eric got his share and more. Both of them got their share and more. And if there's anything left, the Whittakers will get it. Because to be honest, Eric says that he's got everything in this big savings account for the Whittakers. Patrick also says he's got a big saving account for the Whittakers. Somehow neither one of them want to give it to the Whittakers like they promised. But I believe that Eric and Patrick has spent every penny of it. I do. I don't think there's any money left. I think they're spending it as fast as it comes in. And it's still coming in every month. In fact, it's YouTube, because I've seen more than one person. I've seen many people on YouTube who are monetized will say they get paid on the 21st of each month. And I Googled it, and it says 21st to the 25th or something like that. But most people get paid on the 21st from YouTube every month. And they've got probably 4 paydays. They got one for June, July, August, and September. And now on the 21st, they're going to get their 5th payday. You know what I mean? And 70,000. And they had like 5 platforms or something like that. And some of them are making 70,000 a month. Some are making whatever. Whittakers are owed a lot of money. And that's another thing. So they're the bad guys. They got exploited. They got ripped off. For 5 months, they haven't gotten a penny, while the other ones live like rock stars, like own asses, Kennedys, you know what I mean, living it up. And they haven't got nothing. So I think they got a lot of money coming. And like I said, I think they're going to have the last laugh. I think first things first, if it was me, I'd want to get the family back. Find out what is it going to take to get the family back. You know, one time back in the 90s, my dog went to the dog pound. Like, it went in a dog catcher or whatever. And I wasn't going to stop at nothing until I went and got my dog out of there. I couldn't think straight. I imagine what my dog was going through. He was so scared. And I got my ass down there, and whatever it took, I got my dog out of there. I couldn't imagine having my family member taken away like that, just like the dog catcher gets the dog, and you don't even know where they're at in a cage somewhere. And so I couldn't even imagine just every moment that your family is away like that. I couldn't stand it with my dog. And, you know, just imagine 3 of your family members being just hauled off on stretchers, strapped down, putting on gurneys, loaded into ambulances. Like, man, talk about traumatizing them. Yep. So anyway, I think all the abuse and neglect and all that stuff, all the abuse, I think, strictly came from Eric. Eric ran right into his living hell. Prescribed sometimes I only want half, so I open and eat half the beads. Really? Yeah, I don't know about that. Please tell me what you have to do with the Whittaker's family, friend or nothing. What does the Bible say about judging others? Don't stop making their business yours, because I know the Bible inside and out. That's another thing. I consider myself an expert at the Bible. All right. And I'll tell you what the Bible says about judging people. It says, judge not lest ye be judged, because the same measure that you judge against other will be turned on you. So if I tell somebody, oh, wow, you really steal a lot, you're a thief. But me, myself, so I'm going to be, whatever I judge somebody else is what's going to be judged on me. So no, I don't. But what I do, and go to the Beatitudes, okay? Matthew 5-7. That's the Beatitudes and Sermon on the Mount. It'll tell you, you need to take care of these people who can't take care of themselves. That's what the Bible says. I mean, I could go on. I've been on here 10 years, Bible studying every night for 2 hours every night for 8 years? Never missed a night until my dog died. And I just couldn't handle it. I was off for a week. Otherwise, I was on every night for 8 years, 2 hours every night doing Bible study. And ended up studying with Bible scholars, biblical scholars, and rabbis. Okay, so anybody want to take me on with the Bible? I would love it. Virginia thought the family was an easy mark. That's right. Yeah, the Bible says a lot about taking care of people who can't take care of. It's our job to watch out for people who are less fortunate than us, and people who are in need, and people who are being preyed on. It is up to us. That's what the Bible says. And it also says, do unto others if you had done unto you. All right. So would I want somebody to help me if I was in this jam? Hell yeah, I would. So I'm doing to the Whittakers what I wish somebody would do to me if this was in my position. So yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I know that Bible like the back of my hand, every page of it. Grace will vouch for that. And anybody else that's been on my page. In fact, I do Bible trivia. And I would love to do Bible trivia again. What do I think about how they fooled the masses? You know, it is really strange. Someone said E-wife calls him Skidmore. I'm very disappointed how he fooled the masses like that, because, and actually, I think it looked like he was fooling more people than he was, because Dwayne came in when all the trouble started with BJ the last 2 weeks. And as a matter of fact, you guys remember, there was nothing about abuse the entire summer from May until September or the end of August. And all of a sudden, overnight, BJ's horrible. She has to be evicted and all this, put in jail and all this other stuff. And the interesting thing that they said, and I have this on a clip, they said, we didn't even, everybody's saying like, what, how, everybody was very asking questions, and Dwayne was sitting there, block, because people were saying, what do you mean? Yesterday, everything's fine. Now today, what's happening? And he's like, well, we didn't even know there was any abuse until last week, he said. Eric said, we didn't even know there was any abuse at all until last week. He says this in the end of August after being there all summer. He says, we didn't know anything about any abuse until last week. Isn't that right, Patrick? Patrick said, yeah, we didn't know anything about the abuse until last week. Like, okay. And I'm so disappointed in all the people. But anybody who asked questions was blocked. Dwayne was there to block people. If you had a question, block. Common sense, block. Anything that doesn't go along with Eric's narrative, block. And so it looked like everybody was going along with it, but I think the majority of people who spoke up, everybody that spoke up against it was blocked. So it looked like everybody was fooled, but I think the ones that weren't were taken off the page. So it looked like everybody believed him and went along with him. You know? Yeah. Yep. You just made a comment on my last video with thank you. Left hand. That's exactly right, Lamar. The Bible also says your left hand should not do what the right hand is doing. Dwayne was the prop. That's right. And when you give in private. And you should never, it says, when you give in private. I can tell you all the things the Bible says. And there's nothing that it says that tells me I shouldn't be trying to help the Whittaker. It's back contraire. I noticed when Mark came to visit last year, Timmy had a sore on his head. Looks like chronic. It is. And then you can go back 10 years and it's been on there. And as a matter of fact, Mark even, he says, wow, Timmy, you got that. You've always had that sore on your head. He said that last year. He said, wow, Timmy, you always had that sore on your head. It seems like it's been there forever. There's nothing made about abuse for the 20 years Mark. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Eric mentioned going to North Carolina before going to meet the Amish. Do you think there's a connection to the trip and the lady from North Carolina to Betty and Larry to the lawyer? And that's weird. What they said, they were going to North Carolina, and they brought Timmy too. They went to North Carolina, they said, to pick up Robert Mass' friend who lives in North Carolina. And he was going to stay at the Airbnb too, that everybody chipped in for the Whittakers. But it ended up to be Eric and his friends, 4 friends. It's supposed to be, yeah, John Mass' friend from North Carolina. I think people wanted to see something happy happening in the world. Patrick set the stage. Yeah, videos of Timmy being happy. That's what I thought at first. I thought, all right. And at first, the first few videos before Eric got involved, Patrick wasn't even monetized. He had a GoFundMe, and it got up to $200. Supposedly Betty wanted $100 for groceries, and that was that. Yeah, G-Spot's good name for Dwayne. Yeah. Do you like that? Yeah, him. The lady who made the recording on the phone. Oh, is she from North Carolina? That's interesting. That was supposed to be what's his name's friend? Eric's mom and sister and SUNY's foundation. What? Wow, Shannon. Remember I said on that video earlier today? Remember I said, is SUNY the one that was in that recording? Because I think Grace told me who it was, and I can't remember. But anyway, The one that was in that recording sounded like it was coming straight out of Eric's mouth. Well, you got to keep BJ off the property and to get everybody back. And then you got to get a new house and you got to have a fancy house and all this, we got to sign deeds and everything. To me, if I sign a deed, I'm going to have to pay somebody something. Why would they sign anything? Parents took care of it. And if they went to the taxes, there's nothing they can do about it. Susan, there are screenshots from Gabriel saying that BJ abused the family and Betty neglected them this months ago before Eric was involved. From Gabriel? I don't know what that is. I want to help, but don't know how. I'm in Idaho and I have a camp trailer. I guess I got to pull up to next BJ and say, let's do this. I know how to navigate the system pretty good. Yeah, me too, Puppy Puddle. I guess if I was going to help, I think I would get a hold of an attorney, tell them what's going on, how they were forced into this restraining order by threats and all that. And I would explain the situation and have the attorney call adult protection, find out what is it going to take to get my family back. That'd be my first concern, is to get my family home. Suni, I think her and Eric were, yeah, I think so too, Mary, because everything that came out of that lady's mouth sounded like it was straight out of Eric's mouth. Yeah, real name Megan Exxon. Suni? Yeah, see, I have not been watching people's videos. And somebody said, well, didn't you see that video? No, I don't watch other people's videos, you guys. I have been busy till 10 o'clock at night. Like I said, by the time I get done with all my stuff, I got to cook the dog their dinner. I got to cook my dinner. I got to feed the indoor and outdoor cats. And by the time I get done with dishes and everything, I sit down here, it's 10, 11 o'clock at night. But now, today was my last day. All my harvest is done. Everything's cooked. Everything's frozen, canned. And as from tonight onward, I'm not busy anymore. I mean, I'm still busy, but I won't be up till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning trying to do a video because I'm just too busy. So from now on, after today, I have some free time because all my work is done and I can relax now. Gabriel's Brandon's girlfriend. What? One of BJ's kid's girlfriend? Gabriel's Brandon. I don't know who Gabriel is. I don't know who she is. I'm surprised the lawyer from Beckley hasn't stepped in. Well, yeah, no, well, you have to pay the lawyer, and I don't think anybody's paid. And it wouldn't be that much, you guys. I personally, I think under $1,000 would do it. I think so, because it's not like some long, drawn out case. You just got to have the guy do a few things. It'll take him about a week. And then the people will tell you, adult protection, he'll get the story. What do you need to do to get this family home? Is it the house? Is it the person? Who is it? Because who keeps saying BJ is not allowed to be there? Like, who said that? I don't know. 30 years ago, I heard there would be a great dumbing down America. And you know what? I think so too, Lamar. And I think it's a whole combination of things. I think it's things in the food. I think it's things, the fluoride in the water. I think it's the electronics and the internet, and I think there's all kind of factors who have made people really, really dumb. And you know what? Back in 2016, I got rid of my television. In fact, I gave all my TVs to my good friend. And from that day forward, I never had a TV again. And where I'm at up here, TV doesn't come in, and I don't even get a radio. I get nothing up here but internet. And I know that the TV has a lot to do with dumbing people down big time. But I think there's a lot of factors, and absolutely. And that zombie apocalypse, I mean, that's predictive programming. You can see the zombies down on Kensington down there. And some of them in Eric's chat. Could you imagine if the house was built when Eric voiced the deed, cops signed and took the out? Well, they'd be building it on somebody else's property, for crying out. Like, you better check with the guy that owns that property. That's Brandon's baby mom. Are they getting along or are they fighting? Or paying a retainer fee for a lawyer sounds like a great use of it. Yeah, exactly. That money that Patrick is holding back from the Whittakers, that would be, you only need about 1,000. You know, you can, in fact, you know what? I had a lawsuit, or I have a lawsuit. And I started out by going to the Minnesota Bar Association. The lawyers were the lawyers they get. So I called the Minnesota Bar Association and I got a hold of an attorney. And it was only $30. I think it was $30 to have a 30-minute consultation over the phone. It cost me $30 to talk to that attorney. Find out if I have a case or not. And that's probably what it'd be, $30. You can get somebody from the Bar Association in that state. The Bar Association will hook you up with somebody to answer some questions. Okay, and that's legit. And then if you get the attorney, so what? It'd be $1,000 or whatever. And like I said, if it was my family, I'm pretty sure they'd be home by now. Yep. No, one of them stray cats. She's got a little cough. You imagine if the house was built? Yep. Co-signer, yep. Paying a retainer fee. That's what they should do with that money. Patrick needs to hand it to them so they can go get a lawyer. It's not going to be that much. I'm a mom bear too. I'm pretty damn protective. I could try to keep the wolves away. I'm a healer too. I could give Betty a foot massage and rub her feet with oils. Yeah, Betty's been through a living hell, and I think she got manipulated. She was putty in Eric's hand. You know what I mean? You make her do anything. Just keep telling her you're not going to get that house. And you know what? I even have. Yeah, you're right, Grace. Sometimes the internet doesn't even come in up here, you guys. And if I go to the back of my house and go to bed, my phone doesn't even come in. Most people that come over here, their phone doesn't work. I am out in the middle of freaking nowhere. So yeah. Thank you. I think things that still hasn't come out. Yeah, I think so too. Especially about whatever happened between BJ and Eric. That's sad as everyone is together cheering this on now. Everyone is divided and mad because someone has a different opinion. Yeah. And that's another thing, Shannon. I don't know how why they just can't have a decent adult conversation about things. I mean, I heard today I got somebody putting jabs on me, taking jabs at me because I use the paintbrush for a pointer. Well, like I said, everything comes out of my pocket, guys. I've never taken a penny from anybody. Thousands of videos, never took a dime. So yeah, if I use a paintbrush, the end of a paintbrush for a pointer, so be it. If you want to buy me one and send me one, whatever. Okay, but I've spent enough on everything. I'm not going to go buy a professional pointer for this. And as far as that timeline, I'm going to tell you, I had to go to the Dollar General to get a calendar, okay? Because mine's all written. My one on my wall, I wrote all of it. So I had to go buy a new fresh calendar to write on for that timeline. Guess what? There is no 2025 calendars anymore. You got to buy a 2026 calendar. So I had to buy one for next year. I think it was $2 or $3. And I brought it home and I had to cut it open. I had to find a month that had the first starting on a Tuesday and the 31st on a Friday or whatever. I had to find the right one, then cut it into pieces and then put the June on that one. And then modify it, and then glue it together, and then put another one. And the cat comes in with muddy paws and goes right on the top of it and rips the shreds. And then I thought for myself, when that cat went across there with muddy paws and ripped it, I thought for a flash second, should I start over? And I thought, hell no, I'm not starting over. Hell no, I'm not starting over. Screw that. And if it's messy, too damn bad. Make your own. Let me see your timeline. All right, so no, I could have redone it, but you know what? I have priorities. My top priority is getting my garden stuff put away, frozen and canned. Otherwise, I just wasted all summer on growing things. So my priority is to take care of my home, take care of the animals, and get my harvest put up so I have food for the winter. Comfort food all winter. And yeah, if I have to do things in a hurry at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning when I'm nodding off, sometimes too, I mean, shit happens, you guys. You know what happened like a week ago, 2 weeks ago? So I come in here, it's 10, 11 o'clock at night, and I'm doing videos. One night I was doing video till the sun came up. Because these videos, it might only be a 30-minute or 60-minute video, but it takes 5, 6 hours to do these videos. So I was up sometimes till the sun came up. You guys, I don't use caffeine. I don't drink caffeine. I'm 6, 8 hours past my bedtime doing these videos. So yeah, if it's messy, so be it. Too damn bad. I'm not going to start over. I barely have time as it is to do that. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm on a limited budget. I got no technical experience. Okay. I'm doing this all out of my pocket. And I don't get reimbursed. Tell them about my garage. Which one? You mean my pole barn or the garage? Yeah. Well, I've been going through a lawsuit for 5 years, you guys. I have a large lawsuit going right now. Yeah, it's been going for 5 years. And I'm about to go to trial. Damn right. That's why I'm all for the legal system, okay? If I'm forced into litigation and you cost me some money, I'm going to bring you to court. Damn right I am. Nobody's going to walk all over me. That's why they don't want to give them money, so they can retain a lawyer thinking, yeah, exactly, right? Probably why they won't give them the money. They'll get a lawyer and, yeah. Stick to the winner. Thank you. I will. I agree about the money. Yep. And lawyer. BJ said the trailer was moved there in 1990, and then it was built onto, yeah. Yeah, where the Whittakers live now is actually, you can see it. If you look on the Google image from the front of it, you can see the tongue of the trailer sticking out. It's a mobile home. There's a tongue of the trailer sticking out the front part, and then you can see there's an addition put onto the back of that, and then you can see they put the porch on the front. Yeah, you can see all the places they added on, but it originally was a mobile home. You can see the tongue of the trailer sticking out. Yeah. Yeah. Didn't Patrick say YouTube Whittaker's was 45,000? Yeah, they got a lot of money coming. They are owed a lot of money. And imagine if you owed somebody 50,000, or you own the person 2 doors down that you made all your money off of, living like a rock star, making it rain with all your money, tens of thousands of dollars. But you haven't paid the neighbor down the road, the one that you made all the money off of. And that neighbor is so broke because you haven't paid them all summer. You're holding on to their money, and they come up in the middle of the night and they take a gallon of gas from me. I'd be like so ashamed, like, oh man, you guys are trying to get $3 worth of gas. I should pay you guys. You know what I mean? No. He's like, oh, stole my gas, huh? $3 worth of gas, huh? Well, do what we want or you're going to go to jail. And remember, in that video from the Whittakers, what did he say? Larry said, they're laughing about him going to jail. He said, the first time and the last. Hopefully it's the last time. He says, the first time I ever been in jail. And you guys, I looked everywhere for Larry's record, and there ain't one. There's not one. Everybody else has one, but him. But he said, yeah, I went to jail. It was terrible. He said, I hated it. And Mark said, yeah, you didn't like that. And he goes, no, I don't ever want to go back. It was horrible. The conditions were bad. He was only in there like 6 hours or something. He said, God, I can never go back. And they knew that. They knew he was scared to go back. He said that people in there are horrible and you don't know what they did. Yeah, I hope a lawyer's in the works, because I think they'll iron it out real quick. Betty, that was supposed to be before Eric involved, that's for sure. Pringles, I agree. That was during Mark videoing. I can't be certain. So what do you think about the new guy on the scene, Brian? Do you think he's being sincere? Yeah, I don't really watch any other videos. I did watch one of his. That's the one where he was over at the Whittakers, right? Is that the guy? The one that went to the Whittakers' house? It was all dark in there and he was doing a video with BJ? Is that him? I don't know. I don't really watch other people. And then I get scolded for not watching other people because I have my own things. Nobody is talking about the things that I want to talk about. And I'm not going to be an echo chamber. Because a lot of people, I've seen videos, breaking news, Whittaker, and you click on it, it says, guess what? Larry and Betty had the family taken away, and they're over at Eric's house. Like, this happened like over a month ago, and they're saying breaking. So anyway, I don't bother with. I don't like the echo chamber. I do hear people text me messages and say, hey, they're saying this about you or that about your video or whatever. That's how I know people are saying stuff about my videos, because I get told, I get texts sent to me. And then I'll go look. But I really don't have, I haven't not had a minute to do anything. Like I said, I'm out till 3, 4, or 5 o'clock in the morning trying to do these videos because I got to do more stuff in the morning. In one night, you guys, I mean, this the weirdest stuff happens when you're out here. So one night, I sit down, it's like 10 o'clock at night. I'm thinking, yeah, I'm getting a good start. I'm going to do a couple videos. And I'm probably sitting here for 5 minutes. And I hear, rah, I hear like a cat fight outside. I'm thinking, what the hell? So I always yell, hey, stop it. Break it up. I don't know, wild stray cats or something. Anyway, I pounded and told him to shut up. And was doing my video. And I heard my dog, my border collie, he's like Lassie. And he's got a certain bark that, Mommy, come quick. Something wrong with the animals. He's got a certain bark. And he did that bark. Ruh, ruh, ruh. Mommy, come quick. There's an animal problem. So I run out there with a flashlight. And it's pitch dark out. You can't even see in front of your face. And I run out with a flashlight. And the dog's over at the windmill. I got a windmill in my front yard. I put it there when I bought this place. And I look, and it looked like there's an animal hanging from my windmill. And I'm thinking, what in the hell? And I ran up there, and the dog's going crazy. I go up there, and I get it close. I thought it was a raccoon hanging by its tail on my windmill, off my windmill. I'm thinking, what in the hell? And I get up there closer. I get real close, and I see it's a cat. And the cat is hanging from my windmill by his back toe. By one toe, he's hanging off my windmill. His toe got caught between two pieces of metal. His foot's on one side of the metal, and his toe's on the other side. I'm thinking, what in the hell? So I grabbed it, and I didn't even know whose cat. I didn't even know what cat. To this day, I don't even know what cat it was. But I grabbed the cat's back foot because I was going to try to pull it out of the windmill. And the thing came up and bit me. It bit me a bunch of times on my hand. I'm like, damn. And I backed up, and I tried it again. But I put my hands away. I was trying to get him off the windmill. And the thing started biting my feet because I was barefoot. It was biting my toes and shit. I'm thinking, what the hell? So anyway, when I went out there, the thing was lifeless. It was hanging upside down, lifeless. And I thought it was dead. So at first I thought it was a raccoon. And I got it there. And anyway, when I got up close to it, it started getting like all crazy on me. It was trying to bite me and stuff. And I thought, okay, I got to get this thing. I don't know how long it's been hanging upside down by its toe, but I thought I gotta tip this windmill over and at least get it onto the ground so it's not hanging by its toe. So I go to push the windmill over, and guess what? It is like concreted to the ground, and I totally forgot. I'm trying to pull it, and I can't get the windmill up. And I think, what in the hell? And it dawned on me. I did a bunch of landscaping over the summer, and I put rocks around it, plastic, and I just beautified. I did it all over and I forgot. I put these 1-foot spikes into the ground so the windmill won't ever tip over. And I forgot. I thought, oh, them spikes. So I'm trying to pull it up, and I'm hitting it like a football player. I'm trying to knock it over. I'm trying to pull it and push it. And anyway, I'm thinking, oh, maybe I got to go get a Sawzall and cut this thing apart or something. Just then it started coming up. So I pulled it up, and I knocked it. I set it over so the cat got on the ground. And I thought, okay, I was just starting to think of another plan because I couldn't get the thing out of the ground. I finally pulled it up like Incredible Hulk. I'm like, ugh. I pulled it up, and I set it over. The cat got onto the ground. And then I thought I should get a saw and try to cut the thing apart. And then all of a sudden the cat just went crazy, and it came loose, and it took off like the Roadrunner. Pew! I thought, what in the hell just happened? Then I thought it was it was definitely a tortoiseshell cat. I got two. And there's two stray cats that are tortoiseshells. My tortoiseshell was here when I started. The other tortoiseshell came back, and that one wasn't hurt. And then I yelled for the stray cats, and I brought some food out there, and I called them for their food. And the two tortoiseshells came up, and none of them were limping. So I don't know what the hell. Anyway, I came back in after all that, sat down here, and I thought, I'm going to go pass out because that was just so it took every ounce of adrenaline out of me. I had to go pass out. And another night, just a last weekend, I sat down here, finally ready to do something. And it was a little baby kitten, a newborn kitten. It was like a week old, still had the umbilical going. It was sitting outside my house, meowing and crying. And I waited for hours for the mom, and the mom never came. So I thought it died, and I went out to put it, somewhere so I could bury it. And it was moving a little bit. And I thought, son of a bitch. And I picked it up, and it was ice cold, like a week old, didn't even have the eyes open. I brought it in, put some towels in the dryer, and got the hot towels and heated it up in a towel. And I'm out in the middle of nowhere, guys. It's a long drive to go to Walmart, and they were closed. So first thing in the morning, I went and Walmart, got some baby formula for the goat's milk for kittens, and I bought a bottle, and I came home, and anyway, everything I did, the little baby died. So anyway, there are a couple nights like that. Shit just happens, and never see it coming. And anyway, shit like that happens. And I never had this stuff happen in the city. I used to live in the city my whole life, or suburbs or whatever. But come up here, man, stuff like this is just crazy. Anyway. So yeah, there's a few nights I would have put out videos, but shit happens, huh? Never see it coming. Yeah, I don't think it was jabs. I was live. She was giggling, saying it's knitting needles. I must have missed something. My neighbors can help themselves if they need, especially. Exactly. And to blackmail them over getting $3 worth of gas. And you know what? I heard Eric said that gas was mixed gas, like for a chainsaw or something. So it was just a little bit of gas that had oil in it. So I'm sure the vehicle probably wasn't happy with that. On top of everything else. And then they got blackmailed the rest of the summer over that $3 worth of gas, when him and Eric both owe the Whittakers tens of thousands of dollars, but they're blackmailing over $3 worth of gas. It's unreal. Drones were looking for drug dealers pulling up at $50,000 Chevys, red and black ones. They were coming in 2 at a time in pairs. Cat went out, and now I can't scan back up. What was Gabriel's last name again? I don't know. Gabriel Hall? I guess the holler hoochies are at it again. Yeah, it is a story. It really did happen. True story. What was the cat doing on the windmill? I don't know. I think it crawled. I think there was a cat fight, and the cat went to run up the windmill, and his toe slid between 2 pieces of metal. And I really thought the cat was going to lose a toe. And even when it was all going on, it was trying to bite me and everything. I thought, okay, even if it loses a toe, that's fine. It can live without a toe. And I was trying to get it off. I thought for sure it was going to lose a toe, but that's fine. It'll still live. I don't know what the hell, but you'd go out in the middle of the night and there's something hanging upside down from your windmill by its toe. It's just a little disturbing. Never saw that coming, I'll tell you that. I got blocked on Lady K today. I lost my cool. I just feel like if you're playing someone content in your timeline you created, they should respect. Yeah, I heard what they trashed my timeline, said it was messy and sloppy, and made fun of me because I used a paintbrush for a pointer. But I've warned everybody, this is a low budget production, okay? It's all on my own dime. I don't ask a penny from anybody. But yeah, if you're going to use my stuff, I don't know, hold off on the insults. I agree, Puppy. When you're making money. Yeah, and they're making money off of my content. So yeah, you should show some respect. I'm not making any money. I never took a penny from anybody. Everybody here knows it. Anybody who's been on my channel for 10 years knows I don't take money. This is a hobby. And yeah. And I just took a very early retirement a few years ago. So I'm very busy. I don't even know how I used to work 70 hours a week, but I'm trying to enjoy my life now. I've been getting up to alarm clock since I was 12 years old. I had a paper out, and I'm tired, and I want to enjoy life. And yeah, so I've worked very hard for my money, and I don't get it from here. Backhanded compliments about another person or their work are not compliments. That's right. The AK does good work when you are sharing someone else's work. It's a rule YouTube. You have to break it up. Yeah, and that's another thing. Somebody said, why don't you play the whole video? For one, we would be here for days if I played. Second of all, the rules of YouTube, okay, there's copyright infringement rules. And what you have to do in order to not be copyright stricken, you have to add commentary every so often. Okay, and I like that. I like it. And my whole point is to play a video and add commentary. So that's no problem for me. But you cannot, these people who put up somebody else's video and just play it, especially getting money, you're not supposed to do that. That's against the terms of service for YouTube. If you play somebody else's work, you're supposed to add to it. You're supposed to add commentary. You're supposed to, there's rules, okay? So I can't, even if I wanted to. I know other people do it. I don't know how they get away with it, but I don't break rules on YouTube. I learned 10 years ago not to do that. So I go by their terms of service. And when you play other people's work, you have to stop it every once in a while and say something. So it wouldn't even be an option if I could let it run. I wouldn't break the rules like that. I watched Lady K. I felt like it wasn't disrespectful. She was saying the timeline is awesome. All right, well, that's good. Yeah, I got a text today saying I was being disrespected, and I haven't watched it. Like I said, I just got done tonight. I finished Sunday night. I'm done with all my canning and harvesting. So I'm celebrating tonight. I can do anything I want from now on because that was priority to me, getting my food put away for the winter. What the creator was explaining, not interrupting at 2 seconds, talking about something totally irrelevant to what we are watching. Yeah. Yeah. It was Lady K laughing about your pointer. She said it looks like knitting needles. No, it isn't. It's actually a paintbrush, a little paintbrush. And sometimes I use a pen. But, I mean, do people want me to go order one off of Amazon, a professional pointer? Like I said, I have never made a penny off of these videos, okay? And I think people appreciate clicking on my videos, and you don't have to sit through commercial after commercial. And then even in the middle of live stream, another commercial. Like, geez, right in the middle of live stream? Yeah, anyway. I made my own money. I don't need to make it off of YouTube. And if I ever do, because I did retire, like I said, I retired pretty early. So, yeah, if I ever do turn this into a hobby where I want to make money, it'll probably be a PayPal or something. I'm not somebody that's going to monetize. You know, I shouldn't say, I never say never, but I just don't see myself monetizing. Maybe someday I'll put up not a GoFundMe. What's it called? PayPal or Cash App or whatever it is. Maybe someday. But right now, as of now, I've gone 10 years and never took a penny. So, and then, so people that come in and say, you're just making money off the Whittakers, shut up. Show me where I've made anything. Show me where I've done. I'll show you how many thousands of dollars this has cost me since I started. And not once I've gotten a penny back. So nice try. Just like saying somebody's coming through my door or I'm on pills or drinking. It's so full of shit. I don't even have time for it. Yeah. Backhand. Okay, where are we here? We were joking because we didn't realize your pointer was a paintbrush, but it was all good. Yeah. Well, I mean, what should I use? Should I order something like a school has from Amazon or something? A chalkboard, like something a teacher has? I don't, what do people want? Like I said, this is information nobody else had. Not one person had what I had. I'm given gold on a platter, and I'm being insulted for my platter. You know what I mean? Anyway. She said that if anyone wanted to watch with no breaks to come to your page. Yeah, and that's a fact. She wasn't making fun of Kathy. I was just getting frustrated. Commentary is good, but stay focused on what we're watching, not talking about something completely. Yeah, I try not to. If it points, it's working. That's right. No use what you have. Yeah, that's what I have. I'm using what I have here, okay? Like I said, I already had to go to Dollar General and buy a calendar and cut it up into pieces and glue it together to make it look like this year's. And that took a long time. And like I said, I no matter what I did, I couldn't keep them cats off of that thing, man. Every time I turn around, they want to go on it. And just like anything I put on my desk or the table, they have to see it. So yeah, it was, yeah, anyway. So yeah, It was me. I was just having a moment. I tried to apologize. I was, hangry. I get it. I get it. But she blocked me. It's okay. I love your channel. Yeah. Well, maybe she'll unblock you. And that's me, okay? Grace will tell you I'm a very forgiving person. I don't hold grudges. I forgive people. Okay, I do to others what I want done to me. And I will not banter back and forth with people. I won't argue with people. All right, like I said, I value my energy and my time and my sanity. I don't fight and argue with people on either in my comment section or on another channel. I'm not gonna. Yeah, Kathy has turned down any and all I have. Yep, I have. But 10 years monetized. I worked hard to get where I am. I don't make much but $100. Well, there you go. And you know what? And I totally get that. And if you want to get monetized and use this as a, because I'm all for being paid for a hobby, okay? Because people retire, they make like bird houses and whatever, knit blankets or whatever they do. And people get paid for their hobbies. I'm all for that, you know what I mean? But, maybe someday I'll put up a Cash App or something. But so far in 10 years, I've never taken a penny. But I don't, and I'm not against people who are monetized, not at all. But don't be monetized. Come take my stuff I'm giving for free and then try to, I don't know, make fun of me or something. Yep. But yeah, go for it. Go for it. Yeah, use what you have. I agree. You do deserve it. You out so much time into your videos and you think about everything. I love the way you deep dive and break it down. Thank you, Puppy Puddle. Yeah, one person said makeup brush, a makeup brother, another said a pen, and now you're getting cranky. Yeah, well, am I getting cranky? I don't know, I try not to. I just don't like hearing people taking my stuff and using it, getting paid for it, and then insulting me over my stuff. Yeah, they won't complain about anything. You did a great, Pointer. Calendar host shot, thank you. And I don't really take these insults too bad. Yep, it's right, Grace. My motto is everyone deserves a second chance. That's why these people who are, thank you, Up Yours. Some of these people have been on my channel a long time. Up Yours has been around a while. Grace has been around a while. And they know me. These people know me. And they know I'm all for second chances. I'm forgiving, very forgiving. And that's what I liked about Mark Lietta. He went up there and he said, BJ said, I'm sorry. He said, pat her on the back, said, I'm a forgiving person. You know what? You need to live your life like that. I do. Because I believe in karma. And whether you believe it or not, it's real. And you get back what you put out. Okay, so if I'm going to be nasty to people and stuff, I'm going to get some nasty stuff back. And I believe you get out what you get back what you put out. And so I'm a chill person. Back in the day, they used to say I'm a mellow person. I'm very mellow. I make raid quilts and do canning. Really, I do a lot of canning too. I just learned like 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah. No one insulted. Well, thank you. I'm glad nobody insulted me. Thank you. No, I make my own content. I learned people love food videos. Oh, nice. Yeah. I think she did not. She gave you a great. Oh, thank you. I'm glad. Like I said, I didn't see it. I haven't watched any videos today. I was too busy trying to finish up my stuff. So. Anyway, thank you. Just because it's good to hear. I never once even think about what you was using to point out the calendar. So strange. I was focusing on what you're pointing to. Well, thank you. I was hoping people were focusing on what I was trying to, the message. Thank you, Lamar. So can the Whittakers put a trailer on the 17 acres across the way with a septic, or is that out? Does it have to be probated first? No, I think where they're at right now, I don't think they own that. And where they're at right now, the septic is not possible. Because, I mean, I don't know if they have above septic ground stuff there. But I know because I had my own septic put in, and it was expensive, you guys. But before they put the septic in, they have to come out and do a perk test, a PERK, a perk. And what they do is they make sure that your ground is going to seep water. Okay, so if your ground is too hard, if it's rock or if it's sand or like, if it's too hard, and they come back and the water hasn't drained the next day or whatever they do, you can't have the septic. You have to have, it can't be too soft and can't be too hard. It has to be just right. So, you know, and according to everybody, they're on a bedrock. So no, a septic is not possible to be there. But across the street where BJ's old trailer burned down, that is their property. And that does have a septic already over there. I'm new here, but I visited your channel well, hello to Cryptic and Lady K. Yeah, karmic is real. And that's how I know it's going to catch up to Eric if it hasn't already, you know. But it sounds like the most simple, logical thing to do, which they should have done from the beginning, is go across the street, the property that they do own, and where there already is a septic, and put another trailer on there. And so, well, the roads are too hard to get a trailer. Well, everybody else is getting theirs in and out. I'm sure it's not impossible. Anyway, hello to Cryptic and Lady K. A lot has to do with perception. What you think is snarky. Yeah, I agree too. It may take as a joke. You think it's bad. Yeah, and I know that. I'm sure your channel will grow from it. And I know that too. I mean, you can read any comment and you can take a lot of them two different ways. Like, are you sure about that? Or are you sure about that? I mean, like, you can take things two different ways when you're reading a text, because there's no, you know, you're not listening to the person say it. So one sentence can look two different ways, you know. I would love to make a Whittaker video and give my own opinion. You should, Justy. You should. No, the 17 acres still has to go through probate. 20 people have to sign the lease. Yeah, that's just too much. I don't know. They better make sure that they still own that, because I don't know, the parents did a bunch of stuff in 1959 and 1960 or something like that. It was supposed to be good to go. But now all of a sudden, I don't know, it's in somebody else's name. And to me, that sounds like somebody didn't pay taxes for a long time. Because again, I am very involved in real estate, and I looked into buying these just this year. I looked into purchasing some properties that were taken for back taxes. And you can get them really, really cheap. So I would ask the Whittakers, when's the last time you paid taxes? Because after several years, many years, if the county doesn't think they're going to get any taxes out of you, they'll just sell it to somebody else who will pay taxes for very cheap, too. No perk test if you have over 10 acres and not near water where I live. Well, I have multiple acres, but there is no way to get around a perk test in the county I live in. First thing they do, because the county has to come out and the county has to do the perk test, and they have to approve everything. And then once they started doing my septic, the county came out in the middle of it, and she had to come and prove everything halfway through it. And then she had to come out again at the end of it and make sure, close the permit. So the county came out before, during, and after my septic was put in. And they were eyeing it like a hawk. And there, you have to have a perk test. They won't do a septic here without a perk test. In fact, I used to, where my garage, one of the garages used to be, the ground is rock hard. And I thought about putting it there, and they said, nope, that'll never pass the perk test. It's just rock. It's like rock. Go for it, just D. Yeah, right? Yeah, just D. Yeah, I would go for it. No perk test. That's what I was saying. Can they just put a trailer? Yeah, put it on the other side. And now that Eric's drawn all the attention to them, negative attention from the county and the state and every you know, government agency ever invented, yeah, now they might have to jump through a few hoops, but whatever. I don't know. I wish I knew the Whittakers and was able to help, because I don't see this as real hard. I think they can get the family home, find out what it takes to get them home, and do it. The trailer Larry's was more like an RV, and mine out of my driveway, not living in it. But can if I have to. And then that's another thing. There's some areas, not usually out in the country, but when you start getting into where there's rules and regulations and shit, sometimes you can't live in a camper more than 3 months or 6 months, or the camper rules. And I live out up here where the rules are pretty slack. Pretty much people are on their own, but they still, if somebody complains that somebody's living in a camper for too long, you can cause trouble if you want, but you got to draw a lot of attention. Otherwise, people are left alone. Florida, it's okay to put on the land, but all owners then own the home also. It's still in the parents' name, 17 acres. 2 acres where they live now belong to someone else. All the taxes are paid up on Whittaker land. Oh, well, that's good to know. You should have good water drainage with your water featured. Yeah, I do. And in fact, they loved my land when they did the perk test. They said, you got good soil. Taxes are only 107. I knew it, Betty. What did I say? I'm guessing for that plot of land is probably $100 a year. That's exactly what I said. Because I know about properties and I know about taxes. I know about all that stuff. But that's what I guessed. I said, I bet on that whole 17 acres, it's probably only $100 a year taxes. You know what I mean? And you can buy up these plots of land and pay $100 a year for taxes and, just hang on to it. It's a good investment. Because if you buy it, those from the county that have been seized for late taxes, you can get a lot of land for a small amount of money. Some of them have homes on them too. Those are a little bit more involved. I believe they won't be able to get her signature while she's with the state, and if the state keeps her part along the land. Are you talking about Lorraine? Same here in the septic here in South Carolina. Florida, Larry had just a camper, not permanent, so probate wasn't an issue. Yeah. And then they might have to do that. They might have to do something with wheels on it, because a house with wheels and a house without wheels is two different situations. If there's one's mobile and it can roll away, the rules are different. Yeah, Idaho is so strict on what you can and can't do. Yeah, some places are. I moved to a place purposely where there's hardly any rules. I mean, people drive their ATVs and snowmobiles right down the road, right up to the gas station and put gas. I mean, there's hardly any rules up here, and I love it. Same here. And the last time to test the water before you can move in, have to chlorinate the well, flush before they test. Yeah, I got my own well, and it's delicious. I love my water. If it's only Betty, it would be easy, but intentions are to reunite. Yeah. Whittakers have more help than we realize. So, yeah, I think so too, Betty. I think they're doing just fine, and I've never heard him ask ever for help from anybody. Everything's been kind of pushed on them, and then I don't know. It's just like if somebody came to your house and insisted on doing a whole bunch of favors and say they'll pay you for them, and then they never paid you and screwed your life over and stuff. I don't know. It's weird. Tyler was going to go in half with Mark, but they didn't get it done. I think there was problems. Manufactured home places backed down on. I don't think Tyler Oliveira was ever going to work with Mark. I think he was out to ruin Mark's name. Well, I wouldn't write to the town and tell them, but I am raw. Yeah. Yeah, they hear the parcel number if you want to pull. Yeah, sure. I will. Like I said, I'm done now with everything that was pressing, so I'll have time now to do stuff. I haven't had time, but now I have time. After today, everything changes. I got time. Let me grab my pen. BJ is not Larry's daughter, yet they named her after Betty. Could be. Well, BJ's real name is Betty Whittaker Rocha. And I think BJ stands for Betty Jr. And so the property across the street where BJ's old trailer was, that property comes up as Betty Whittaker Rocha. Like that property comes up in the same name almost as BJ. So yeah, I don't know. In the UK, if you can move your residence in wheels, you don't have to pay tax. Yeah, see, there's different rules if your house has wheels on it than if it don't. I realized today that BJ is not Larry's biological child. So, really? They say she is. So she isn't the heir to the grandparents, so she'll get heirship. I don't know. I thought that was Larry's daughter. Yeah, I don't know. There's Betty, and then BJ's name is Betty, and then somebody's mom's name was Betty too. So there's like 3 Bettys that I know of. I don't know. I don't know who is the dad. I really don't care who the parents are, really. Once you're here and you're a human being, you know, and they're that age, it's not like they're little children. I really don't care. BJ's not Larry's daughter, yet they named him after Betty. I don't know. They kind of all have that Whittaker look, so I don't know. They could be anybody's kid. BJ is Larry's biological. There's another that is adopted. Yeah, I thought the Whittakers said that BJ is Larry's daughter. I never questioned that. In fact, they stick together thick as thieves, like father and daughter, I guess. Watch the trailer fire video with Mark. They discussed BJ not being Larry's. Really? She was 1 when Larry met her. Oh, was it his wife's daughter? Because Larry's wife passed away. So it was the wife's daughter, so it was like his stepdaughter? Oh, I didn't know that. Remember when Patrick was live, said Eric reached out to him. He had videos of original talk. Said that, but were cut off. Patrick asked Eric to come help him. He wouldn't take responsibility, any of this. I think it's obvious, and they've even said that Eric reached out to Patrick because in Eric's own words, he said, I reached out, I knew the Whittakers, and I even have a clip where he said that Eric said that they used to watch the Whittakers so much that when they had family gatherings, get-togethers, they used to all sit around the TV and watch Whittakers and their family during their family, holidays and shit. I don't know about that, but he said that he knew about the Whittakers, and then he saw Patrick doing videos again, and he reached out to Patrick on the GoFundMe page, and he said, I noticed you only have $100 in here, and I think you could do much better. So Eric reached out to Patrick first, and then Patrick answered him within 2 hours or whatever. He said he immediately wrote back and said, yeah, I need some help. And that's how that started. So that's weird. Anyway, I never knew that about the daughter, Larry and the daughter. Remember when, yeah, that's weird. Yeah, he extended the olive branch and asked Mark if he was interested in doing that. And Mark declined. Yeah, I bet Mark declined. Tyler still tried, but had problems. Manufactured home place. So I don't think he tried very hard. Everybody else seems to get their trailers in and out just fine. Up yours, we're going to float these mobile homes over there. Let the government know we're coming. Yeah, up yours over, and these in the UK. And I'm going to put that video on. I'm going to put that car video up just for up yours so he can see the classic cars. I think I went out there a couple weekends ago and did that. My relatives run the car show, so. Up yours, we're going to float these mobile homes over there. Let the government know we're coming. I might be mistaken, Pam. He adopted it. Oh, I didn't know that. Pringles, send him over in a boat. Our government will gladly take him. Kenny's daughter. Oh, it's Kenny's daughter is his stepdaughter? Yeah. Taylor apologized to Mark, and they were going to buy a modular home. 2 different companies backed out, and they even after they put the deposit, I don't know. It is kind of tight going through there, but other people are getting their mobile homes through, so I don't know. Might have to cut a few branches and get it through there. BJ is Larry's wife, had other children. Larry adopted an older child. Yeah. I don't know. Family's family, whether you're adopted or not. I see that as Larry's daughter, whether it's biological or not. I heard Larry say they named her after Betty. Did they wait till she was 1? Huh. Named her after Betty? Well, there's 3 Bettys. There's a mom Betty, there's Betty, and then there's BJ Betty. If I come over water, do I need a passport? It takes months to get a birth certificate here. And I want to leave before winter. Yeah, well, Amish can build you a house in 3 days, sometimes 2. BJ is Larry's daughter. Yeah, that's what up yours. I'm going to put that video up for you. Some cool cars again this year. It was fun. I went with my friends, and my cousins were up there, and my aunt was up there, and I had a bunch of family that was up there. It was fun. Anyway, I think I'm caught up. I'll probably wrap this up. Been on here 3 hours. In case anybody else has anything else to say, I can come on again. I can always come on again in a few days. I do have some videos I want to work on now in the next few days because I have time now. So, BJ or Timmy have no interest in the 17 acres because parents are still living. That's right. They might be living for a while. Like I said, Eric was so worried about all 3 of them dying at once. Like, what are they, going to go down in a plane crash? I mean, how would they all die at once? I mean, and you know what? Whittakers have gotten by just fine. Just fine without Eric's help. And they've all ended up in the cemetery without GoFundMes and all this other shit that Eric wanted to do. They've been just fine. Yeah. Anyway, night to you too, Mary. Yeah, logs float, right? BJ or Timmy? Nah, I don't think they're in it. I think they're happy. Well, thank you, Grace, and thank you for moderating. Or was that what it's called, moderating? One modular company told them they didn't want to get in the drama. Yeah, you're right. You're right. The other wouldn't tell them why they're back. Yeah, I think there was too much drama around that. And I don't think it had nothing to do with getting it through the road. There was a will, there's a way. But yeah, you're right, Carol. They did say they don't want to get, there's too much drama in the spotlight. One false move and it's going to ruin their business. You know what I mean? Yeah. Thank you for your timeline. Thank you, just because. Thank you, everybody. Good night to you too. I want to say thank you for everybody. And if I missed your comments, I'm really sorry. You saw it was going by like a slot machine. And if I miss your comments on my videos in the comment section, I'm sorry. I don't mean to. Like, I can imagine if I kept making a comment and the bitch doesn't ever answer. I'm just kidding. And if you think, wow, I put 2 comments and she didn't answer, it's not on purpose. I promise. And if I didn't like your comment, I'll just delete it. Okay. Cause like I said, I'm not going to play games. I'm too old for games. All right. And I like having fun and I like being in a good mood and I like being happy. So I'm not going to fight with anybody. Okay. Anyway, so thanks for coming on. Great to see you again up yours. Thank you, Kathy. Good night, everyone. Good night to all you. Yeah, I'd back out too. Anyways, great meeting you guys and talking to you. A lot of you are new. And anyways, nice meeting you all. Thanks for coming in. It's been a while, so let me see if I can figure out how to turn this thing off. Anyway, thanks for coming in. Thank you, everybody who watches the videos. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for all your support and comments. And like I said, 99% has been good and positive. Anyway, and I'm not interested in fighting with anybody. That's why I always say peace, because I believe in peace. Anyway, good night, everybody. Love, prayers, blessings to you too, Grace. Love, prayers, and blessings to everybody. Hashtag reunite the Whittakers. That's right. Hashtag reunite Whittakers. All right. Good night, everybody. Let's see now. Sorry about that. Hit the wrong button. Let's figure out how to shut this thing off now. Because it's sideways now. So. Anyway.